Good morning, everybody, and happy birthday, Dr. Mel.
Happy birthday, Mel.
We are streaming worldwide here in the SQUID studio.
Good morning, Tofu.
We're out of here.
The SQUID lady needs her squid hat.
I agree.
Good morning and happy birthday.
Good morning, Troy.
How goes it, friends?
It goes.
There you go.
Good morning, Avi.
It's a little hard on the. We are live. We are officially in. Ah, it's happening.
Exciting.
All right, everyone say hi to our Facebook and YouTube audience.
Hello, YouTube. Hello,
Hello,
Facebook.
I got us here on the comment line. It's squid time.
What are people saying? Any comments?
I see the comment, it's squid time. All right, let's check in with Dr. Mel. Dr. Mel, happy birthday.
Yay.
Happy unbirthday. Anybody else celebrating a birthday yet here today? Just me? Happy unbirthday to all of you. Nice.
Good morning.
It's
Good morning,
Thor.
Thorn.
Happy bidet, B-Day.
You look all squiddy this morning, Thorn.
Say that again?
You look very squiddy this morning.
Oh, well, this is my famous fireman shirt. You know why? Because SQUIDminders are hot. And somebody's got to be around to put out the fire. That would be me.
Are you both hot and putting out the fire?
You can do it all.
We didn't start the fire.
All right, Dr. Mel, what are you thinking or feeling as we embark in this 24-hour plus journey?
I'm thinking I'm glitching.
Already?
Which just seems part of the show. So which part of me? So is this a hat thing all the time, or is this a hat thing some of the time? I'm guessing I don't have to wear it the whole time.
I think you're the boss of it. So
I'm the boss of it. Oh, well, I can also do requests. I would like to do a major shout out to Professora Pulpo in her
Hola.
octopus hat.
She must have made that, right? Tell me.
I had it made. It's an Erzsie special.
Ooh, Erzsie.
pretty nice.
All right,
It's
let's check in
squid
with all
time.
the squids. Let's see. Now, let me make sure I say it right. So it's a Erzsie? Did I get it right?
Erzsie, just like New Jersey.
Oh, you're like a Erzsie girl, not a
I
Jersey.
am. I crossed the River Mersey on a Jersey cow.
What do
You
you
show
want?
no mercy.
Oh, good. Good one. That's a good one. Solid.
There's going to be thornisms all day. It's going to be
Oh, I think so. Listen, I wasn't quite sure. Were we supposed to wear our birthday suits?
Yes.
Ooh, yes, except
Oh,
that
I think that would get the
Stay
ratings
warm.
up a little bit.
You did say bidet day, eh?
mhm.
If I was Canadian, I'd say it's bidet
Hey,
day.
listen, I got to say, before we're inundated with the millions, that I am just delighted to be a process of this. And I can't believe, though I should believe, the amazing talent that Mel has attracted. This is definitely, you got the A-team.
I got my
I'm the E team.
the day mug.
Oh, I need my Professora
Nice.
Pulpo.
That is so. I want a big shout out to the person who made all of this possible, my mom. 54 years ago today, she gave me my first breath. Or she certainly made it possible. So, and she was kind enough to get me this lovely Seize the Day coffee cup. And shout outs to whoever made the coffee cup. Hmm. So yeah, so here we are. It's a 24-hour commitment to 24 time zones. And it occurred to me, Abby Sheikh is in the house, and I think you're in the 25th time zone.
Yeah, for me, your birthday happened 12 hours ago. So happy birthday.
This future you, past you thing that's happening like right now in front of my eyes.
I'm in
But
the
you know
future.
what's fun about time zones is, Mel, you know that you came to your next year alive and kicking because
Right.
your birthday already happened in India.
Yep. Okay. So shout out to who is here from where. I am here from Kirkland, Washington, USA.
Well, I am here from Paradise, aka the Czech Republic. I'm about 2 hours from Prague, in the delightful city Česká Budějovice, which has the distinction of bottling 80,000 bottles of Budweiser per hour.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
King of beers.
I am Erzsie, also known as Professora Pulpo, and I am currently in Oakland, California.
Oh, you poor thing.
It was 75 degrees yesterday,
Oh,
and I was shocked.
it was a little chilly.
Where are
And
you,
we-
Abby?
I'm in the city of Kolkata. It's the city of joy. We have so many sweets here. We live in the future.
Mm.
How about
Like
you,
it.
Troy? Where are you joining it from?
I'm joining from Seattle, Washington. I was going to say I'm joining us from Kirkland at the Costco, but I don't know if everyone would get it. But
I
yeah,
am next to the Kirkland Costco.
there we go. You know, and I was thinking, Mel, now I see why you wanted all the time zones, because then you can just have a birthday that just kind of happens over the course of like a week, you know? And that's
Exactly.
smart,
Uh-huh.
very smart.
Exactly. So I'm noticing that in our other Zoom room, we have people who want to get in, including, so we have the SQUIDminders Zoom, and then we have John's Zoom. And I'm going to go see if I can get our other people.
Gotta come to the squid side.
Yeah.
And I would have
Is that
liked
the
to
wild
know
side?
you, but I was just a squid.
Boo, boo. I have to say, John, your background is squiddalicious.
It is fresh squid.
I'll be working on one of these later for all of y'all. It's part of our squid time. We're gonna make you one of these.
Hey, I hope you were able to get a squid cake.
Mm.
Not yet.
Well,
Who knows what's possible before the day is done.
Oh my gosh. My friend is up. Hold on, let's bring in the one, the only Ann Knox is coming in the house.
Yay.
Let's see. She said she is up.
Oh,
Let's see. Ann
good
Knox.
morning, Anne.
Waiting for audio.
Hi, Anne.
Good
There she
morning,
is,
Knox.
and she is wearing her spider. Are you a Black Widow?
Yes.
I am.
All right, here, watch. We'll do this trick. Everybody unmute, and on the count of three, say, hi, Ann. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hi, Ann.
You're now officially part of the 24-hour attempt, Ann. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while.
I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, what's up with you? You're on the East Coast. You're up early or late, or all the above?
Of course. Just for you.
Aw.
East
Just-
Coast where? Where on the East Coast are you?
I'm outside of DC in Virginia.
Oh, I think, yeah, I
Where are you?
passed over that. I am in dead center Bohemia in Europe, in the Czech Republic.
Oh, I want to go there someday when you guys
Oh.
allow us again.
Yeah, but the problem is if you come, you won't want to come back. Hmm,
That's not such a bad thing.
no, No.
No, that
I
was
wish
not
I'd
a
come in
judgy
here
thing.
earlier.
Nobody should allow anyone to go anywhere right now.
Yeah, it's the power of the virtual. My favorite thing about some of my favorite things about the last 2 years include inclusivity at a whole new level. There are a lot of meetings that I would never have been able to go to had I needed to be there in person.
Yeah, true.
A lot of my stories from like how I survived COVID involve John, like including me in things.
Nice. That is actually a huge part of what we're doing today is about mental health. It is all about mental health. The pandemic that has cost us so many lives. The virus is bad. The mental health is worse.
Okay, Dr. Mel, you ready for your next guest?
I am ready. Who have we got?
Guest coming in. Here he comes. Let's see if you can guess the squid. Name that squid.
Hello, hello.
Wait.
And thank you for being part of this record-breaking event.
Lucas is in the house. So
It's
Lucas, where are you
Lucas.
dialed in from?
Good morning from Poland. It's a wonderful morning.
We're at internationally squidly known. Hey, Lucas, you're just here for the unveiling of the official squid timer. So let's see, Dr. Mel, will you do
Yes.
me the favors and count down from 3, 2, 1. Ready? Count down, 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
The squid.
That was very dramatic, John.
Awesome.
That
Dun,
is
dun, dun.
fabulous.
Oh, yeah. So when this thing hits 24:31, we've officially hit some kind of record.
Yes.
Will Guinness be calling us?
I think Guinness, I'll be calling Guinness. Glug, 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 glug.
Glug, glug, glug.
No, wait a minute. I've got a problem with that because I feel some fealty towards Budweiser, and Guinness is an entirely different drink.
Yeah.
Well, when they start writing about world records, then we'll care more about Budweiser.
I think all world records are done in coffee, not Guinness or alcohol.
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
Most of the good ones, anyway.
Coffee cup with my kids on it.
Oh,
Beautiful. Hello, little person.
Oh my gosh, we forgot to include in our presentations pictures of kitties. I mean, that's basically why Facebook exists, isn't it?
No.
You said cats? You said cats, right?
Cats. Yes, cats.
I thought it existed for squids. I regularly post my pet squid on Facebook.
Oh,
where do you keep your pet squid?
Usually in Kirkland.
Is it
I let
hard to-
my pet squid live with their mom in Kirkland.
That's nice. Is it hard to walk?
Incredibly.
Yeah, real slippery.
Yeah,
I-
my squid keeps wanting to run away.
I
The
thought
far reaches of Earth.
in Kirkland, you could go to Costco and get like 16 squids at a time.
That's right.
yeah, you pay for it either with euros or a couple of squid.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of my very good karaoke friends. We're bringing in this new squid. Name that squid.
Chuck,
Beth,
Frank.
Foolery. Hello, Beth.
Oh, it's Beth.
Oh, Beth!
Did I hear karaoke?
Oh, I
This
love your
might be
background,
someone
Beth.
I need to know.
Beth, how are you?
I'm good. I can't, there's a box above me, so I can't tell if I'm muted or not.
You are not muted.
Oh, thank you. Hello,
To the
Beth,
inter-
where are you calling in from?
Seattle.
Yay!
Nice.
And as I'm logging in, or as I'm logging into this, my husband's pulling into the driveway, so I'll probably have to mute myself for a few and go greet him at the door. His long
Greet him with a
work
squid
day.
kiss.
But I saw the invite to this. I was like, oh yeah, it's after midnight. I guess I better do it, right?
Fun. Well, here's a
Hi.
question for you. Oh, go ahead, Beth.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, are you a good witch or a bad witch?
some days I'm a good witch and some days I'm a bad witch.
Don't I know it?
Okay, I gotta go let my husband in. Hold on.
Nice to meet you.
My daughter, about 15 years ago in high school, was in a movie called A Girl and Her Squid. And she walks into the classroom with her pet squid and puts it on her desk and is ridiculed. And it has a tragic ending. The boys pick on the squid and decide that it needs to become street pizza.
Oh,
Ugh.
that's a sad story.
Yeah, but fortunately, squids are quite procreative. When I lived in California, I was a diving instructor, and one of the big events was to dive in La Jolla Canyon, which is just off the aquarium. And there's a quick access to the trench. And if you go down about 200 feet and you look up, you cannot see the sky because it is nothing but a cloud of squid.
Wow.
And then it got interesting because the squid invited the sharks.
Oh, I see.
Like popcorn for them. Whoa, we're at the movies.
Okay.
That story took a dark turn.
I have a squid activity. Are you ready for the first squid activity?
What are all these backgrounds?
Let's do this.
They're all squids. Well, they'll explain them to you in just 1 second, Beth. Okay, so
I'm going to mute myself.
I need 9 rooms, the names of places that squids would go. Who would like to be first?
The bathroom.
Rocks.
The bathroom. Okay, I heard the bathroom. And what was the other one?
On the rocks.
On the rocks. I actually like on the rocks better than just rocks. On the rocks. Who's next?
Volcano.
Volcano. Ouch, you're going to have calamari if you do that. Next location.
Mel, you are muted if you were trying to share with us.
I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
The dancing floor.
The dancing, dance floor? Okay, I like dance floor. That's good.
The jacuzzi.
The jacuzzi.
There's some more calamari for you.
I choose not to eat calamari most of the time out of professional courtesy, but you are what you eat. So every once in a while.
They might go to karaoke.
I think that's true. I think
I'm
that's
pandering to John.
Because you know why they go to karaoke, Beth?
Why?
So they can sing The Octopus's Garden.
Well, some Beatle fans here.
Oh, we could totally do some of that.
3 to go. 3 locations to go.
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Petra.
Petra? Like Greece? Or what is it? Petra?
Jordan.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Petra.
I see another squid next to Beth.
That's a male squid. It's Mr. Squid.
Hello, Mr. Squid.
He's an orange squid.
Feels like he's violating the good witch.
Yeah, he was violating the good witch.
Oh, I love it. Very nice.
She's got a crown. She's got.
I don't think she was actually a good witch. I think it was just marketing.
Okay, do you know someone named Bill O'Grady?
Bill O'Grady is in the house.
Wow, Bill.
Bill O'Grady in the house, and I need the last squid location. Are you ready?
The moon.
The moon.
Oh, moon squid. That's yeah, good call.
Got the Pacific Northwest octopus.
Very good. Thank you.
It's pretty important.
So the squid lobby is open. So unknown people will be put into the squid lobby.
Unknown people. But
Hello,
Bill O'Grady is not unknown.
Not at all.
Bill, welcome to the
Bill
house.
brought the music.
Hi, Bill.
Here we go. Ready? Ladies and gentlemen, on the main stage, here he comes. Internationally known Bill O'Grady.
Yay.
The following program was recorded earlier.
Wait, I got another intro for Bill. Here we go.
No, Bill, don't keep it. You got to play it.
We'll be starting soon. Please find your seat and silence your cell phone. Thank you.
And don't just silence that cell phone, turn it off. Power down all the way.
Dr. Bill is bossy.
It's, I don't know, maybe I'm a record producer. Hey, I've been practicing that line. The following program was recorded earlier, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to say it. And I only say it after I've come home from work, had several beers and a puff, you know.
You do have such a voice for radio.
Hey, have you ever thought about doing any radio work?
Audiobooks.
Oh yes, I
want to do really good audiobooks.
Yeah.
Oh, like Squid books. I believe that's on your list of things to do this year.
You hand me the book, I'll put it on tape, baby.
You just have to read the poem.
Oh yeah, we've got that. It is on the checklist of things to do, and we could, in fact, make that happen pretty soon here. I just need to be able to provide some notes. So what is it that I had it down that I was going to start performing for you guys as soon as you wanted me to start performing for you? Everyone here already? Are we expecting more in the next couple of minutes, or shall I give you guys a show?
Anything could happen.
It's true.
Let's wait for another 10 minutes. I'm gonna go get some more squids to join in.
You got it.
I want to know if you are a good witch or a bad witch.
Who?
Anyone?
Bill.
I am a very good octopus.
I'm a good witch.
I think it's all contextual.
Dr. Gannis.
That's definitely a doctor perspective.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Professor, excuse me.
Dr. John Chen, are you a good witch or a bad witch?
Well, here, Anne, I'll help you do a quick poll. Let's see. Let's get some poll music on though first. Okay, great. Everyone, let's just make sure your hands work. Give me a thumbs up. All right, good. Give me a thumbs down. Okay, good. Now, thumbs up is yes and thumbs down is no. Are you a good witch? Yes or no? Thorn has failed.
I'm a warlock.
You're okay.
Gender.
You know, I'm gender oriented. I'm a warlock. I am neither a good witch nor a bad witch.
You know,
I'm not even a son of a witch.
I've heard
you are a son of a witch.
I've heard that a male witch can be referred to in two ways: warlock and wizard.
Oh,
wizard sounds a little too tame.
Warlock.
Warlock. Let's try again. Let's see. Now, if you consider yourself a warlock, thumbs up. Whoa! There we go. Okay, good.
Finger up.
You consider yourself a bad witch, thumbs down. All right.
It depends on what you mean by bad, I suppose.
Well, now if Anne can do multiple things, then I can too. You're like a wizard.
My mood.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Here at SQUIDminders, there's no boundaries. Hello.
I don't know about the squid thing, but
so now I'm going to ask everybody to ask a yes/no question. I'm just going to start with the Professora in the time. So let's go to Erzsie. Ask a question to the group.
Let's see.
You're muted.
No pressure.
I am not muted.
We have
My brain is thinking.
We have 24 hours for you to decide on the question. It's no problem. We'll be watching Erzsie for 24 hours like this.
Did you ask yourself a question in the last hour? Thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no.
Good. Let's go to the birthday girl, Dr. Mel. Yes, no question.
Happy
Oh, first I
birthday.
have to comment on that. What question did I ask myself? Well, about 20 minutes ago, I asked myself, do I have to get up now?
Why alarm?
I think I should. There's this thing going on,
Same.
but I'll get to hang out with all of you. Okay. A yes or no question.
That well, my eyes are
Will,
there. Now I'm watching you.
will this,
Guys
will this,
falling off of your Okay, yes or no question. Have you heard of SQUID before this past month? Yes or no? Yes would be, yeah. And then we have people who have not yet heard of it. Yay. So John, I am certain that you have heard of SQUID in the past month, but this SQUID, this particular 5-step process to squidding your mind, news.
And
Now,
here's
why do you have a different background than the other squiddies here?
I don't know. Why do I have a different background?
I think she's talking about me.
Oh, because I don't think I have it updated yet.
Okay.
Okay, that's a good point.
Dr. Mel, do you know someone named Haiti? Yes or no?
Possibly.
80s?
You go
Katie
into the
Bryan from
underground?
SNL.
So Dr. Mel, I'm going to put you in the SQUID lobby. I'm going to have you talk to Haiti, and you're going to.
You got it.
Okay, so hold on.
Wait,
I'm
Doc-
going to
Is that
watch
the
this
underground?
experience of going to the lobby.
okay, everyone say bye, Dr. Mel.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
Dr.
Hi, Dr.
Mel.
Mel.
Going to
Where
the
you going?
underground to talk to Hades.
She's heading down to talk to 80s.
Bring in Hades.
Mel has to verify people, and some of whom she's not going to know at all because we invited them, and they might not know her.
Okay, so now Troy, Thorne, and Lucas ask the yes/no questions while I check the lobby.
Oh, I have a very important question. That's
Go
on
for
my
it.
mind. And please, answer honestly. Does this shirt make me look fat?
Not to me.
Do you mind if
You're
you're
super skinny.
at least just here? You don't have to do it in the main room. But this
But
is-
you wasted
Cool.
your question on that. You are a bad witch.
Oh, I thought we established that I am a bad witch.
Professor Pulpo, what's on your head?
It is my octopus hat with all of its little tentacles and things.
We went from squid to octopus?
Well, so let me explain.
Ah,
We want this to be a mnemonic
yeah.
to explain this application of mindfulness. And one of my jobs in the SQUID team was to translate this method of mindfulness into Spanish. Well, the Spanish word for squid is calamari. And calamari is too long of a word to make a mnemonic of, because how are you going to remember that many words? It's a lot easier if you just have 5 letters. So for 5 letters in Spanish, what's the most similar thing to a squid? But in
Octopus.
un pulpo.
All right, I get it. I get it.
I like it.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I do too.
And then you get to like reference the Beatles.
I
Octopus.
do.
That's
In-
right.
In an octopus's garden. Is that what you're thinking about?
That's the one.
Huh.
Perfect.
I do have that background, but it's a little bit distracting. And in India, Avi is doing the cuttlefish because that's a very recognizable creature in India. We are trying to get this method of mindfulness all over the world.
We're not
Did you knit your
I did not, but I found a very talented knitter on Etsy.
Nice.
Yes. And I can perform in this octopus hat as
Sure.
Professora Pulpo.
We're not only global, we have all the animals in the world too.
We do.
And
That's right.
witch.
My roommate is actually from Iran, and I can't remember which animal he told us about, and Iran's not necessarily going to recognize the octopus or the squid.
No,
Wait, I'm
There-
sorry if I missed this. Where are you?
I'm currently in Oakland, but I live in the Seattle area. See, I believe in Iran, we're doing the bear.
No.
Does Iran have a seacoast? I think it does. It does have aquatic animals around someplace, like octopuses and squids.
Okay, Dr. Mel is going to introduce our new guest from New York. Her name is Hades, not Hades.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
80?
I just saw Hades Town, so I'm.
Mel has stood up.
Professor Gannett.
All right, here we go. Dr. Mel, do you want to introduce our guest? Our guest will be coming in just a second. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here comes our guest.
Woot.
You are spectacular, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ah!
Tell us who's coming in next.
Here she
All right. We got Haiti in the house.
from New York City, Hades.
Hello.
Hi, Haiti.
That's beautiful.
Okay.
Wait, she looks like she's from San Francisco.
That is not New York.
No, right.
It's
I wish
amazing
they
how
had a
many
New
people
York
in
City
Zoom are from
background
San
that I could have
Francisco.
put on.
New York has a bridge just like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you guys. So especially for Haiti, before she runs off to grab food, I am ready to do my first throwdown on you and your squid brain. Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm ready with the Spanish version as soon as you're done. Dr. Mel.
Excellent. Excellent. How many people here know how to speak Spanish? Anyone?
I wish I did. I really do.
Okay, never mind. I will do
Work on that.
Professora Pulpo at a later
Okay.
time.
So for
Well-
those of you who have not dealt with this before, hi, I'm Dr. Mel. It looks like the filter does not like doing both. So
No.
how about
That's all
I
right.
do, how about I
You're-
do that for the
you're
moment? Okay,
Oh, that's good.
there we go. So Haiti, this is especially for you, but everybody else in the room.
And
If
people
you
watching
stand
from.
that far
And
back,
people
Mel, we
watching
can't
from
really
home.
see you.
What?
We can't see you when you get that far back.
You can't? How far
Well, I mean,
back?
we can, but you're so tiny.
Give her a speaker view
Then we get to have all of the arms moving. Otherwise, it's like way
instead of
up
a
there.
gallery.
There we go.
Joe, there she is.
She
Go
went
ahead,
solo.
break a tentacle.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. You and your squid brain, can you think before you ink? By Dr. Mel and the SQUIDminders. You might be surprised to learn what I did, but now I can show you your very own squid. It's like a part of your brain that is hidden from view, but it often drives what you say and you do. Whenever your squid feels like something is wrong, it's right there to tell you. It doesn't take long. It turns different colors and can make your heart race, can make you get louder and scrunch up your face. Your squid, it turns out, will squirt ink into stress. If it feels overwhelmed, you can make quite a mess. So what can you do when your squid starts to yelp? You can ask some good questions if you want to help. Could you try to distract it before it reacts? Could you cover your mouth before it attacks? Could you take a deep breath? Count to 10, walk away, then ask your squid what it most needs to say? Could you ask it a question to better understand? Could you imagine your choices, then decide on a plan? Where can you go if you just need to hide? How can you help your squid cool off inside? Before you return from wherever you go, make a plan to come back and try to talk slow. Things might get messy if your feelings still hurt, but maybe good questions can stop a squid squirt. Now I have a question that I must ask you. If there's a squid in your brain, do I have one too?
Rainbow bright squid.
Yay!
Yay.
Hey, Hades with you until she gets food. So, Hades, do you now know what squid is about? She's applauding you at least.
Does that mean it's about your brain?
It is.
Okay.
You and your squid brain, can you think before you ink? 5 steps to mindfulness when we need it most.
All right, everybody, let's see. Click view gallery. We're going to bring everybody in. And let's see, I'm going to bring our next guest back in here. All right, well, that was your first SQUID presentation. Let's get some SQUID commentary. Let's just say your name, and we'll see who would like to go first. Commentary about SQUIDs.
All I can say is that the professor read that much better than I ever did. Oh my God, that was awesome.
I have more practice.
You've been rehearsing.
I have a lot less practice saying this. This previous content was brought to you by the irritable bowel syndrome.
No. It was brought to you by the Northwest Colon and Rectal Clinic.
That's right.
Big shout out to the Northwest Colon and
Remember,
Rectal Clinic.
we're on YouTube. Remember, we're on YouTube. We can't say everything.
Well, it's a place of medicine.
It is, and we actually have them here, and they are one of our sponsors for our NPR station.
I shall not transgress again.
Oh yes, there is that.
NPR
The
is
squid brain.
NPR is one of the prophets of my religion.
Oh, nice.
Yay!
What is the religion called?
I don't know, but it's like NPR and Oprah.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Okay, I have another guest, another new SQUID guest. Okay, everybody, are you ready for our next guest?
Yes.
Okay, ready? Name that squid.
I know this person is a part of the World Karaoke group of the famous John Karaoke World.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone unmute and say, hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Oh.
Joe, where are you joining us from?
I'm joining you from Boston, Massachusetts. It is 3:37 in the morning over here.
And the temperature, sky conditions, precipitation.
We are at, about 46 degrees. We had a couple nor'easters, but we made it through unscathed.
It sounds like some similar to what's been going on out here. Rainy, a little bit chilly.
Well, Joe, we have people in this room that are from Asia and Europe.
I love it. I love it. I will say that I did catch the squid unveiling poetry just a moment ago.
Isn't that pretty?
And I love Think Before You Ink. That is amazing.
And thank you. And this is where getting you guys new to it, to go, hey, we think it's a good idea too. Everybody here who's already flashing the squid colors on their backgrounds have fallen into this bizarre web of squidliness where we really do think this is a simple concept that could save the world. Because not thinking is something that humans are really good at.
That's my favorite skill.
Particularly when the chemistry of our brains is going offline in the midst of emotional issues.
Yeah, think before you ink.
Yeah, so it's a pleasure to have you guys here.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you for helping me celebrate.
So is Boston open to visitors? Because it's Halloween, like.
Would they close the city?
Some of the restrictions are down. They're definitely recommending that people stay masked, of course.
It's Halloween.
Yeah,
Halloween.
I mean, I don't think there's gonna be an issue about Halloween at all.
Last year, not so much.
So we can come and go to throw
Salem
TM Harbor and.
And where are you located?
DC.
Just wondering how ambitious you're going to be for tomorrow. Like, are you coming here? Should I be making plans to see you here in Boston?
So my goal in life for Boston is I want to go to the Kennedy Library.
It's a very, that's very easy to attain in your life. That's a very
Well, it was closed for a long time.
attainable goal.
It was closed for a long time in COVID.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
What a world.
What a world, what a world.
I would say all important life lessons should rhyme.
What a world, what a
Squid
world,
is a
what a
good example.
world.
I want to say something.
Go ahead, Avi, then Beth. Avi.
I'm good. Beth, what do you want to say?
Go ahead. It's your
So
floor,
I have
dude.
a question.
Go ahead.
How did SQUID, the movement, get started?
Ooh. Dr.
Yay!
A relevant question. I don't believe it.
I'm a
It's
bewitched
hard
at
to
the
ask
moment,
myself
okay?
those questions.
And
So
how did we get invited?
how do we get invited? You are officially invited.
How
We
did
stumbled
we get-
across this. And
How did we in particular get invited?
Well, that's two separate questions. One is
So I need to answer both
origin
questions.
question, and then we'll talk about the how did the good witch get here question. Dr. Mel, would you like to begin?
okay, so the origin of SQUID, is that what we're shooting for?
Yeah.
All right. So once upon a time, I went to graduate school and then my head exploded. And I discovered in education, there's this constant thing on all of the curriculum says we're teaching critical thinking. We are teaching critical thinking. And yet, are we? And the issue becomes, well, when does the critical thinking actually kick in? We learn a lot of tools for analysis, but we don't frequently learn when to use them. So you combine that with grad school being the first time where I actually studied neuroscience. How many of you, show of hands, how many of you had neuroscience when you were in school? Yeah, no. How many of you had ancient history? How many of you learned how to write in cursive? How many of you learned stuff that has been useless to you ever since? Would you have liked to have learned what's going on between your ears?
Yeah, sure.
So what got me was that you shouldn't have to wait to grad school, and most people aren't insane enough to go to learn about what's going on between the ears, because it turns out if you understand what's going on in your mind, life gets easier. If you understand what's going on inside normal, what is normal? If you understand what's going on in other people's heads, life gets easier. And this whole idea that we are reasonable is just total illusion. So I ask people, do you feel like you're kind of insane? They're like, yeah, no, sometimes. I'm like, no, all the time. We have moments of lucidity. And yet, this insane brain that we are controlled by, we're still responsible for everything we do. So there's some of the impetus behind SQUID. And then where SQUID itself came from was working to try and help people learn how to think when we need to most. And this cute little acronym of SQUID. And I was working on a project where we were trying to help protect people from making bad choices. And there was a whiteboard. And Troy knows I have a friend named SQUID.
Sort of 2Ds though, 2Ds.
2Ds, but SQUID was on my mind. And I'm looking at it and going, well, what we want people to do before they make this big choice, before they burn a bunch of money, is we want them to stop and ask questions. Stop and question. And realistically, if you remember nothing else about SQUID, the goal is to recognize that we need to stop and ask questions. So the way I teach SQUID is whenever you feel like something is wrong, can you stop to ask questions before you go on? Can you ask good questions to better understand? Can you imagine your choices, then decide on a plan? 5 steps to mindfulness when we need it most.
Brilliant. It makes total sense.
Thank you. And it's something we can teach to little kids. And when they're too little to understand it, it's something their parents urgently need.
As Tom says it,
I don't think
where
people
people are reachable, SQUID is teachable.
Yep.
Yeah,
and we have it translated. So we've got Dr. Professora Pulpo. Where did she go? She's not on right now.
She took a break.
It is. I think it is important to start young, because so many kids are like, they're all tied in with like digital things like iPads, and they're even all the way down in the like baby age, baby minds, and they need more like hands-on.
They need a squid.
I love this
We've all
idea.
been told to like hold back.
Mm-hmm.
Go
ahead.
They need a squidge over troubled waters.
I like that.
What's the youngest child ever to operate like an iPhone or a computer? Is it like 4 months? I don't know anymore.
I can tell
I've
you
seen
that
videos. It's crazy. Little babies. They
Oh
figure
my!
it out. Yep.
Ah!
I thought moms were swallowing baby iPhones.
That's one way to get them
But
started.
with all of the voice interface.
They put up to their stomach, and
Yeah.
the baby's like,
I like where Welch says that it's well timed with the Squid Games. It's the year of the squid.
It is.
It is entirely. I've had a bunch of people saying, "Oh no, the Squid Games! I'm so sorry that came out at the same time." I'm like, it's perfect. We are riding that wave. It is all about decision making. Sometimes very high consequence. Should you stop or go?
So
You know,
Squid Games, the show, is similar thinking wise to this.
The irony is, so Squid Games, the show, we had no idea that was coming out until it came out 3 weeks ago. And then it went from arriving on the planet to blowing up the planet. It is the #1 Netflix show of all time ever. So of course we had to binge it. And except for the really graphic violence, it's a great show. But it is all about, survival depends on your choices. And Squid is entirely about like our squid minding is about looking at your choices before you make them, and making better choices helps you stay alive in the show.
well, every dystopian like novel, book, essay, TV show is all about what's going on right now and exaggerated. And everyone's like, oh, this is what's going to happen. And you're like, this
I've got a
referencing what's going
sorry,
on.
I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Thorin, what were you going to
But
say?
Yes, well, I have something I'd like people to try, everybody here, before we get too big. I want you to think of a famous quote, and the key word in the quote, substitute the word squid. For example, friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your squid. So, John, give me a quote and change one of the words to squid.
Okay, hold on. Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna bring a squid quote up. Hold on.
Okay, I got one for you. I'm ready. I'm taking the easy one. I'm taking the easy one. To squid or not to squid? That is the question. What's wrong with this picture?
Low hanging fruit.
E equals MC squid.
Hey, nice. I like it.
People will forget what you squid. People will forget what you squid. But people will never forget how you made them squid.
Here's mine. You ready? Mine's kind of in the form of the song, but it's a famous line in a movie. We represent the lollipop squid, the lollipop squid, the lollipop squid. And in the name of the lollipop squid, we welcome you to Munchkin Squid. I mean, come on, I got Glinda the Good Witch behind me. That just popped out of my head.
Perfect. Abby.
Yeah, and then the Lord said, let there be squid.
That one wins.
That's good. That's good.
This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 1.
In the beginning, there was the squid.
Abhishek, is that how you pronounce your name?
Yeah.
It just
Perfect.
like just like it looks. Where are you? What town?
I'm joining in from India, the city of joy, Kolkata. We have too many sweets here. People are not so sweet, but yeah, we manage.
Thank you.
I'm ready.
Go for it, Anne.
Speak softly and carry a big squid.
I hope you're writing all these down. I can see them going.
Really
Oh,
good.
we're getting a transcription of all of that.
That's
Yes, Anne.
absolutely sublime.
Yeah, listen, for all of you who are
But
here.
do you see what John Chen is doing?
Yeah, it's like he's saying that we are like.
He has a lollipop squid going on.
To be clear, I played a munchkin in a high school production.
And it's stuck with you ever since.
I played Glinda the Good Witch at a bar one night.
Nice.
Were you drunk at the time?
I got drunk quickly, but I didn't start drunk.
Do we? None of us
That
do.
slays me.
You guys have watched Game
Do
of
we
Thrones?
not have video of this?
The night is dark and full of squid.
That's good.
To quote Yoda, do or do not, there is no squid.
I like it. Solid. Very solid.
Okay, I can follow. Wait, now I gotta follow up that one. Wait. Here, I'm gonna follow up that one. Ready? Luke, I am your squid.
I need to counter with to boldly squid. Where
Nice.
no squid has gone before.
Dun, 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 dun.
Is there any place squid has not gone?
Darn good question. You'd have
Yeah,
to
to
ask
boldly
the
go where no squid has gone before.
I think they've been everywhere. I've been everywhere, man.
Listen, for those of you here, my purpose, or I should say my funtion in the organization, is to coordinate the writing of the book with Dr. Mel and Dr. Zimbardo. And I'm thinking all of these quotes would be wonderful in the appendix.
You may use mine freely.
Feel free.
One
I
small
think
step
scattered
for squid
throughout.
and one giant leap for squid kind.
Nice. Nice.
And listen, for Beth,
Yes.
Glenda,
Yes.
AKA Glenda, you see over my shoulder? Can you see what that is?
It's like a balloon.
Oh, that's a beautiful back.
That's to get me back to Kansas after I leave this land of Oz.
Ah, yeah.
That's actually in just.
Well, you know, all you have to do is click your heels 3 times and make place like home.
No. It was always in you.
That's right.
That's right.
Your heels.
The problem is that
You
I
don't
don't
need
have
the
feet,
shoes.
I have
It was
tentacles,
in you
and
all along.
I try to do this with my heels, and they.
There's no place like
It
squid.
doesn't matter. It was always in you, no matter what.
No matter what.
You don't need the ruby slippers.
This is all my fault. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
But have you seen the ruby slippers? They're pretty rad.
Actually,
No, I have totally
here's
seen
the
them.
true
They're
story, real quick.
amazing.
Yeah.
Todd Fisher, who is Carrie Fisher's brother and Debbie Reynolds' son, has one of the movie prop pairs of slippers. And he started a show, but at the same time, he and his wife started a show, Facebook Live show, but at the same time, John started his karaoke and his meetings. And they used to open and close the show. They closed the show with the ruby slippers. They would click them together. No place like home. There's no place like home. So
cool.
yeah, so I know somebody that owns a pair of the props shoes.
Nice.
I did a bunch of shows with Carrie Fisher, and she would like throw glitter all over you.
She was a force of nature.
Yeah,
but they're getting ready to celebrate her birthday.
She charged you to like throw the glitter all over you, but she made you think that you're the only person in the room.
That's a skill.
Yep. She was a very cool person.
She charged you for it?
It was like $75 to like hang out with her for like 30 seconds. But she made you think that
It's like a VIP
you were
thing.
really fucking special.
Imagine all the
I chipped in $500 on a ticket for seeing Robin Williams live and getting to meet him afterwards. And honestly, Robin Williams, just a huge shout out to one of the greatest souls of all time.
Yeah.
It was worth every
and
penny, wasn't it?
He oh God, I can defend that to this day. He was so much hairier. And he talked about that. He's got like he had fur, and he's like 5'3" or something, but just so much incredible love and awesomeness. And watching his show, it was here in Seattle.
Hey, Luke.
I wanted to remember every joke that he told, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a great joke. And that's a great joke. When he closed the show, he had us laughing so hard, just crying, couldn't remember anything, which is all parts of this neuroscience as well. Lucas, what you got?
So this is proof humanity can make anything cute.
That's true. Yeah.
Isn't that a
'cause
cartoon?
I don't have a squid, but I have this. This is Cthulhu, which is the product of a very
dark,
troubled mind of a writer called H.P. Lovecraft. And he imagined this creature being a sort of god from the far reaches of space and time, and scary and evil, and when he wakes up from his slumber, he's going to eat the world. And now we have a plushie. Yay!
Nah, he's totally gonna eat the world.
Yeah.
He's in charge.
Don't judge. Eating the world's not bad.
He is going to eat the world, but 5 more minutes. I'm gonna nap first.
Lucas, you got the screen, so go ahead. Can you do like a little bit of a squid show here?
Sure. Hi, I'm evil, and
Oh, you are an evil.
and I sleep a lot.
Everyone, let's give Lucas and the squid a round of applause.
Hey, you did it.
I think we need to have a special squid handshake. I mean, I can't do the, this one.
Wait, we have a new guest, so let's everyone name that squid.
Thunder.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Weber! We've got Weber with us.
We got
in the house.
13 participants now. We got
Nice.
a lucky 13.
Bless
you.
That's a welcome.
Don't do that in public. That'll get you. That'll get you suspended.
Weber is joining us from the city where I used to live in. Weber, where are you joining us from?
Bless you.
Might be the feathers in your hat.
I'm just gonna mute me.
So what's it?
I got.
Hi, how are you?
Where are you?
Yeah, actually, I'm fine. I'm currently from Noida in India only.
What state?
It's UP, Uttar Pradesh, you call it.
What time is it?
It's here 1:28 a.m.
So it's 1:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you're doing
Cool.
better than us.
Oh,
Cool. I like being global. We're global now.
This is the global lunch party because
Are you gonna
because we have
invite us
squid all
all
over
to
the
come?
world.
And I see our first milestone in less than 40 seconds. We will have gone our first hour.
1 hour down, 23 to go.
So we're gonna take a picture in 30 seconds. So everyone, get ready to strike a squid pose. Get ready. Wait for it. And 15 seconds. Oh yeah, is this squid pose? This is squid pose. Which way do I go? All right, here we go. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nailed it! Very good, everybody. Good job.
I'm in. Woo!
I'm looking
And there's
forward.
for social media.
Hour 1, I love it. I'll be going to bed soon, but I'll be popping back in the morning.
We've got 24 hours of this. You can come back and see how giddy we are.
Right. I'll be working a large portion of it later in the day.
Oh,
tonight.
can we come to work?
Yeah,
What are you doing
if
for
you want
work?
to come see Eric Church, I mean, I could try and go live, but I don't think it'll happen.
Does everybody want to see this photo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Want to know where Beth works too.
When I show this photo, everybody unmute and give your reaction to this photo in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Face, it's priceless. I love Dr. Mel's face. Awesome.
Spooky, spooky.
Okay, Beth, where do you
You
work?
want to know where I work?
Yeah.
Climate Pledge Arena and
Yes.
Lumen Field. Tomorrow I'll be working Climate Pledge Arena and working Eric Church.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Then
Also,
dial
we-
in and listen and laugh, and we will keep you entertained.
I might pop in on my break. Maybe we'll see.
Perfect.
Well, this is bring your squid to work.
I'll probably be in the break room, but you know.
Yes. Okay. So before you leave, Beth. So
I'm not
here's
leaving yet. I'll be here for a little while.
okay. So the intervention that I want all of you guys to get is that you have to notice when something feels wrong. This is the most important part of the entire SQUID curriculum, is that SQUID is this 5-step process for stop and ask questions, blah, blah, blah. But the most important ingredient is what happens first. So this is the question that I ask all of you, and I will be looking for a show of hands. When you feel like something's wrong, where do you feel it in your body first? So for me, my heart starts to pound and my face gets hot. Some people clench. Some people have headaches or stomach aches. Where do you feel it first in your body when someone has said something and you're starting to get upset?
I think it was my legs.
Your legs?
Yeah, I feel like getting up and moving around, or exercising and ignoring the problem. Maybe, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my head, it clutches up.
Yep.
Combo of my tummy and my head. Like I feel hot. Yeah, and my tummy feels funky.
Do you feel the difference between male and female, or is it all cultural?
Culture sort of definitely it's chemical. So whose chemistry has what? Women don't deal with as much testosterone as men do.
But women feel all the tension first, right?
Mirror neurons in women are generally higher than they are in men, which means there's a whole lot more emoting in women from that level, which is a whole nother path of something. But you, my dear, you, and where do you feel it first when you're starting to get upset? Shoulders?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's where I recognize it. Maybe I feel it earlier, but that's where I'm like, oh.
Beth, before you leave and all of us joining us on any of the live streams, please hit us a message on squidminders@gmail.com and we'll get back to you soon.
Yes, this is all about spreading SQUID everywhere. The main thing I'm trying to teach is that recognition. So if your body is starting to feel that tension, you're feeling tension somewhere, for me, heart and face, and you guys were talking about your head, your heart, your gut, your legs. That is the yellow light that is telling you things are starting to become a problem. Whenever you feel like something is wrong, can you stop to ask questions? You have to see the yellow light before you run the red. So here's my next, everybody show of hands. How many people here have ever said or done something they regretted? And this is what SQUID is about, is how to reduce the number of times you say something you regret by noticing that you're about to do it. And you can notice it because your body is starting to react. If your body is reacting from emotional stuff, the blood is literally leaving your neocortex, the beginning, this front part of your brain where you have any version of impulse control. The blood is literally leaving the thinking part of your brain and going to your emotional brain where the fight or flight responses are happening. You have a window of time before you can't think clearly. Has anybody ever been so upset that they just lost all perspective on how to think clearly?
Yep. Yep.
And that's it. You
Totally.
have to be able to step back before that happens. And when people talk about the fight or flight, the correct answer is flight. Step away, because fighting, in the moment that your body is getting upset, to engage in the fight almost always involves ink, almost always involves a mess, almost always involves taking more time to clean up. And sometimes never being able to clean it up all the way.
You
All
can't put the
good.
words back in.
Exactly.
So, wait, tell me more about squid, because like when you get to ink, it's bad, but like if you don't ink before that,
You got to preempt. It's all
I-
about self-preemption.
I can't
It's-
read
it's
it because
about-
I have bad
And
eyes.
distracting yourself. Once you
Ah.
recognize that something feels wrong, distract yourself instead
So,
of
Mel.
indulging in it.
So Mel, I think what you're saying is, are you there, Mel?
Yes, I'm
Um,
here.
Yeah, don't fall asleep yet, Mel. It's only
I'm
1
not.
hour, 6 minutes. Wake
Okay.
up, Mel.
Thorn,
When you
tell me what
get-
you're thinking.
When you get an inkling that something is wrong,
Very good.
Adorable.
I love it. Thorn is our designated
pun master.
wordsmith. He's our squid wordsmith.
Right.
Where people are reachable, squid is teachable.
If you want to know for future, I can read stop, question, imagine.
So it's stop, question, understand, imagine, then decide. You want those to be bigger font?
It just occurred to me we need a color.
That's all I
blind.
got.
You can pin it,
Yeah.
Ann, too, on your
Is-
side. So
Is
pin
stop, question, imagine, decide is
So
what I
basically
can read.
The green, the green doesn't work.
The green
for-
is disappearing.
for Anne. Yeah.
And now, is Abby in the house?
Yeah.
Did you get that feedback?
Sorry.
No. I didn't.
Understand, well, this is our first time, Ann. We're looking for the feedback. It's like, which of these graphics work and which don't?
Mhm.
So if we were to darken the U, understand.
Okay. For this, our background?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
and can you see the middle one now? The U? Abby's got the best shot of it.
Understand? No. Like I can read it, but I have
Guys,
to
we
try
need
really
a-
hard.
We need to fix the
We
font
need a
size.
monocolor version.
I
for
see
sure.
it, but if you don't see it, that means there are people who are not being able
Yep.
to see it. So
Exactly. User
Well,
testing.
Friends, I'm going to step away for the morning, and I will be back in the morning.
You can't
You
go.
genius,
You
Troy.
can't go. You got to stay here.
I can't. I
We just
my-
want to watch you sleep.
Okay.
It doesn't fit into his. It doesn't fit
It's
into his squid bowl.
Troy, is there any social media genius that you want me to take away before you disappear into unconsciousness?
Just be authentic.
Be authentic.
Yeah.
Me? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
I think that's all you got.
Ow.
That is a cool piece of advice.
All right, Troy, thank you. Mwah, mwah,
My
mwah.
pleasure. My pleasure.
see
I
you in a
look
few
forward to
hours.
see me in a few hours. Happy birthday, Dr.
Thank
Mel.
you. Can you get some sleep for me too?
I'm going to. For your birthday,
Thank
I'm
you.
going to sleep for you as well. Hey, Bill O'Grady, I'm a big fan. Love
Hey,
your.
it was nice to meet you, man. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Way,
blessed.
way cool.
All right, friends. I will see you later.
Good
Don't-
night.
Yeah, don't have all the fun.
We'll fill you in later.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
John.
Mel, mirror neurons. Can you
Yes.
talk more about that? Because it's a fascinating concept.
It is. Okay, so you and the Mirror Neuron Wikipedia page, if you wouldn't mind pulling that up and reading us the first paragraph.
Oh no.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know what it says there, but I can make
Yeah,
stuff up from after that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
So I'll set it up for you based on what I know. So we know that there's all of these little cells in our brain called neurons, right? So neurons are the cellular component of the nervous system. We are all very nervous, and our nervous system is our brain and our spine and all of the nerves that go all the way out to our fingertips. And there's lots and lots of different kinds of neurons. So one of the types of neurons is called the mirror neuron, and it's the neuron that is, and then I hand it to Lucas and he says,
Needs to be updated. No, I'm kidding. A mirror neuron is a neuron that fires, so is activated, both when an animal, that's us, acts, and when the animal observes the same action performed by another.
Wow.
So it fires when you do things, and it also fires when you see somebody else do things.
Wow, that is awesome to see.
So here's what I know about the gender thing Anne was asking about, is that and evolutionary psychology makes sense out of this, is that in the current climate of trying to get gender,
you're breaking up, Mel,
language right. Oh, really? Okay,
Not
so
anymore.
mirror
You're
neurons.
good now.
Okay, good. Mirror neurons are more common in what I don't know the current language for female versus male creatures, but mirror neurons are more common in the creatures that are doing childbearing related activities,
Well, that could
because
be either.
sounds logical.
yeah, because there's a whole lot more need
Yeah.
to have empathy and to care for other.
Wait, can I
Wherein-
ask a question? I know this is
Yeah, go
rude,
for it.
sorry. Like childbearing people who are actually having kids, or childbearing that like could have kids?
I think
or like
yeah,
you have
the-
like a preacher that is female and like she's able to have kids, but she doesn't. Like
it's the ones. Okay, so I'll go with the old style of women.
Mm.
And whatever the current version is of how we describe people who are born with female orientation bodies have a lot of more mirror neurons than people who are born with male orientation bodies.
Simple physics or simple.
so you're just saying
phys-
female.
Simple
On average.
physiology.
Yeah,
That's important.
Are you,
on average.
is
and
it,
it's on
is
average.
the anatomy, is it the anatomy that's important? Like people who have uteruses?
I think it has more to do
Or is
with,
it like XX versus XY?
it's a really good question. I think it's more of
Okay.
the XX versus XY. I think the
Yeah, it comes
XX,
down to the pair of chromosomes that we have and what is more dominant in that case,
Right.
or what we are leaving
Yeah.
out. So Y is
My-
a little less than X.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like, I think that when you start saying like, childbearing and all that, it gets complicated
does,
with all the
and I'm
genders.
saying
So I
for-
would go back to the maybe chromosomal or something that
Chromosomes.
is more
Yeah,
about,
agreed.
right? Something more descriptive about what
Thank
you're
you.
referring to.
And
Yeah.
that's exactly it. Is if we break it down to the cellular stuff instead of the human size stuff, it's about the cellular. So there are more mirror neurons in an XX baby than there are in an XY baby. I think that's what they were saying. And it was this idea that empathy and what
I don't
mirror
think-
neurons contribute to is empathy and this idea of connecting between people. And you have a question.
But we don't care about the baby, we care about the mom, right? Like we care about like when we were asking those questions, we were asking questions about the mom, like not the baby.
Well, and I think, okay, so as I understand it with mirror neurons, so skipping apart from whether there's babies involved or not, females, the XX combo, are typically going to have a higher concentration of mirror neurons than males, the XY
That's what
combo.
we were going with.
I
I think that's what we were interested in. I might
Yeah.
be wrong about what other people were asking about.
Yeah. And I think the logic behind that is that the nurturing jobs of our ancient ancestors fell to the people who had the XX chromosomes.
Mm.
And the go kill things jobs fell to the people who had the XY chromosomes, and caring
This
about your
makes
prey is
evolutionarily
a
sense.
problem.
It makes evolutionary sense because if you don't care, then you don't survive. If mothers or anybody does not care for their offspring and
Mhm.
spend time with it, then
Yep.
they disappear, cease to exist.
So,
Okay,
so
we've got a video lined up of Dr. Zimbardo.
oh, nice. So, okay, so before we close out the mirror neuron thing, I don't know what I'm talking about. I have this tiny window. This is my big disclaimer. I have a tiny window of information on mirror neurons, and our Wikipedia article is about as close as we get. The research on it is so fresh and so interesting that it's worth digging into. So Anne, while we're putzing around here, hit Google and find out more and then report back.
And
Thank you.
It is.
But I think that what I was saying was digging into other people too.
Yeah. And like Mel said, this is very new, and up until very recently, it was kind of theoretical. And now the Wikipedia page says that we've actually discovered the mirror neurons existing. But I had a hunch that's going to happen because my experience kind of proves that their existence. I have this thing where I have these uncontrollable motions of my hands and feet, and they tend to happen more when somebody scratches me or when I get a light touch. And my wife does this thing where she goes, imagine I'm my wife, right? And she goes, "Hey, Lucas, watch this." And I immediately have the tick. So so that's how it works, I guess. It fires when I see it, and it also fires when I feel it, and it's the same mechanism. Yeah.
Fascinating.
We're at the mercy of so many things: our biology, our physiology, our what is this?
This chemistry. And all of our emotions are chemicals. So in the midst of feeling something, it's just massive amounts of chemicals running through those neurons. And
it's
I think
weird how
evolutionarily also we benefit from learning from each other. So if somebody comes with an action or behavior and we can replicate it, then we know another way of response which can be useful for our survival tomorrow. That's why we imitate and learn and observe. Observational learning is a part of psychology. So we can replicate the behavior tomorrow. That is why you dream, so that you have so many troubled dreams, so that if in reality someday anything happens, you're prepared for it from your dreams.
I'm gonna take the eldritch creature for a walk, and I'll be back with you in a couple of minutes, maybe 15 minutes.
Thanks, Lucas. See you soon.
So the value of observing others is as potent as going through an experience ourselves. That's amazing. That's fantastic.
The whole concept of monkey see, monkey do.
Yes.
There's a section in psychology called a theory called social learning theory by Albert Bandura. And it's the idea of if you don't have the behavior modeled, then you're far less likely to actually participate in a new behavior. So monkey see, monkey do, and violent behavior.
You don't bully if you haven't been bullied or you haven't seen bullying. How else would you know what to replicate?
That's one of the theories, is that it's something where the Bobo doll. Are you familiar with the Bobo doll experiment? So Lucas is offline, but if somebody wants to Wikipedia the Bobo doll experiment, Albert Bandura.
I have it.
Abby, why don't you cue up this video that you selected for us?
Yes, and we can do Bobo doll another time.
John has it.
I have it. Yeah, why'd you choose this video, and what is it?
This is the video Dr. Zimbardo introducing the squid poem to us.
Okay, well, we'll go to this video. Feel free to chat, and we'll be back in about 3 minutes. Oh, hold on one second. I muted all my YouTube channels. There we go.
This is Dr. Phil Zimbardo with a special message.
Please continue.
You could use a little help. You and your squid brain, can you think before you ink? Be surprised to learn what I did, but now I can show you your very own squid. hidden from view, but it often drives what you say and drives what you do. Whenever you
Is that glitching?
It didn't work out, John.
Yeah, it was glitching hard from what I could hear.
Dr. Zimbardo broke the internet, everybody. Give it up.
Yeah. Breaking the internet, like.
Let's try again.
How many people here know who Dr. Zimbardo is?
Me.
Okay, so how many people have heard of the Stanford Prison Experiment? So Zimbardo is the psychologist who 50 years ago created the Stanford Prison Experiment and became legendary as being this evil, horrible person for having done such a horrible thing, where he put a bunch of young adult males into a role play and it went badly. He spent the 50 years after that, this last 50 years, being one of the brightest minds and spirits in psychology. He's one of my heroes. He's the most infamous, most famous living psychologist, and he's a huge part of why SQUIDminders is here today. He will be joining us live at 10 a.m. Pacific. So if you want to see him, it'll be him in the flesh.
So let's try again. I think I have banished the squid demons here. So let's try again. Here we go.
I think it's the bitrate that's the issue for YouTube.
Oh no, my Zoom crashed on my side, which means that we did too much. We had overloaded the squidness. Here we go.
This is Dr. Phil Zimbardo with a special message for all the kids, parents, and teachers out there who could use a little help. You and Your Squid Brain, Can You Think Before You Ink? By Dr. Mel and the SQUIDminders. You might be surprised to learn what I did, but now I can show you your very own squid. It's like a part of your brain that is hidden from view, but it often drives what you say and drives what you do. Whenever your squid feels like something is wrong, it's right there to tell you. It doesn't take long. It turns different colors and can make your heart race. It can make you get louder and scrunch up your face. Your squid, it turns out, will squid ink in distress. If it feels overwhelmed, you can make quite a mess. Whew. So what can you do when your squid starts to yelp? You could ask some good questions if you want to help. Could you try to distract it before it reacts? Could you cover your mouth before it attacks? Could you take a deep breath, count to 10, walk away, then ask your squid what it most needs to say? Could you ask it a question to better understand? Could you imagine your choices and then decide on a plan? What can you do if you just need to hide? How can you help your squid cool off inside? Before you return from whatever you do, make a plan. Come back. Try to talk slow. Things can get messy if your feelings still hurt, but maybe good questions can stop a squid squirt. Now I have a question I must ask you. If there's a squid in your brain, do I have one too? Do you want to learn how to squid your squid brain? It's 5 simple steps that spell squid. S is for stop, Q is for question, I is for imagine, then D is for decide. SQUID is squid. Here's how we remember it. Whenever you notice that something feels wrong, can you stop to ask questions before things get too long and go too long? Can you ask good questions to better understand? Can you imagine your choices, then decide on a plan? These 5 steps for mindfulness can help you make better decisions, considering your choices and responding instead of just reacting. Can you think before you ink? Can you? To learn more about the squid brains we are all running around with, look for quality of life experiments online. That's it. And remember, I want you to be an everyday hero every day, to do good deeds of kindness and caring and compassion. And I send you my warm regards, Phil Zimbardo, from the Heroic Imagination Project in San Francisco.
Adorable.
Okay, we let somebody new in. Let's name that squid.
GD?
Abby, where's our new squid?
Yeah, hi Siti. Would you like to join us with video? She's joining us from Indonesia.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
I'm here trying out Indiegogo as my own experiment.
There we go.
Selamat pagi.
Oh, there she
Hi
is.
Siti.
Siti!
Hi.
That reading that we just heard reminded me of the song, I left my heart
I left
Yeah.
in San Francisco. That's a beautiful backdrop you have there, Thorn.
So Siti, where are you joining us
actually,
from?
Český Krumlov. It's a UNESCO site about 20 kilometers from here.
That's really pretty.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see the city.
There you go.
I like the balloon.
It,
Where are you in, Thorn?
that is Český Krumlov. It's a UNESCO site. About 20 kilometers from where I am now, and I live there also. That's gorgeous. And it's definitely worth you looking it up on Google.
Totally am right now.
Oh yeah.
Cesky Krumlov, Krumluv. It's got one of the largest castles. Oh, by the way, the Czech Republic has, let's guess, how many castles do you think there are in the Czech Republic? Anybody?
1,002.
5,000.
12.
24.
1,002.
And the winner is the closest one. Yeah. No, actually, there are 2,000.
1,002.
So I know that our radio MC was thinking he was being facetious and saying
That's a lot
5,000.
of castles.
They're just
Wait,
so-
wait, it's Halloween. How many are haunted?
Oh my God, every one.
Everyone.
I have a castle story for you guys. A very quick one.
Yes, please.
So I was born and raised in the United States, and I make it over to Europe, and I'm visiting in Austria. My friends that are Europeans are taking us out for a concert, and the concert happens to be in a castle, and I am walking through the castle just like
Whoa.
amazed by everything. And they're like, "What? Have you never seen a castle before?" I'm like,
No.
Cinderella's. And they're so used to it. It's just so normal if you're in Europe to have castle here and castle there. And I'm like, no, this is brand new. They mocked me. They mocked me for my castle newness.
The Czech.
CT, tell us where you're here from.
And your castle.
Hello. I'm
Hello.
from Indonesia. Because it's your birthday and I already ate a cake.
Yes, I'll have a bite.
Okay, I'm
Selamat
from
pagi.
Indonesia. Yeah. Oh, you know bahasa Indonesia.
Bahasa sedikit aja. Selalu saya tinggal di Balikpapan.
Oh, how many years? Berapa lama?
2 tahun.
2 tahun. Wow. Wow, good.
Are you impressed, everybody? I can be misunderstood in several languages.
Oh.
Sidi, where are you?
Yeah, I'm from Indonesia and I'm Abhishek's friend. I met him in ICP.
Do you have more of that delicious food to share with all of us?
Did you bring enough for everyone?
No, I just have one cake, little cake.
So you eat it. It's okay.
So you
have
said that you're in Indonesia, but that does not narrow down which part of Indonesia.
Too many islands there. Too many
What do we
islands.
Too
Google?
many islands and it's too big. I'm in Jambi, actually, in Sumatra Island.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
Sumatra Island. It's in the western part of Indonesia.
Indonesia stretches for a vast distance, doesn't it?
17,000 islands.
Wow.
It is not referred to as the land of Indonesia. It is referred to as the land and waters of Indonesia.
It
Yeah,
should
yeah, yeah.
be. That's amazing.
Yeah, and
will-
we have like maybe thousands of language.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you Ton? Can I call you Ton or Sally? In Balikpapan, they speak Bahasa or they speak their local language also?
Bahasa.
Bahasa, yeah.
How many languages are there in Indonesia?
Thousands.
Over 1,000?
No one knows how many languages there are in Indonesia.
Wait, how many languages you speak?
It's more like a local language, and the most famous one is Javanese.
Javanese.
Yeah. Some word of Javanese similar to Sanskrit.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Indonesia does very good job at that because they borrow from Sanskrit also, and they have the Japanese influence
For
also.
Japanese.
Yeah, so it's a mix of everything. They're between
So you
Japan and
have-
India, so they have languages also like Japan and India.
Yeah.
It's
But
a
from where I come from in Jambi, we mostly use Malay. So we have similar word
Malayu.
in Malaysia. Yeah, Melayu.
Yeah. So the
That's right,
southern
Melayu.
side of the nation, yeah.
Well, English is one of the supreme language borrowers. We've got tons of French words that are standard.
2,500 French cognates.
Yeah, that's amazing. And we've got Sanskrit words, pajama.
Bandana. Yeah.
Pajama.
Well, I have to say, while I have someone from Indonesia,
Mhm.
what a beautiful country.
Oh,
What a
yes.
beautiful country. I love
So
living there.
one thing about Thorn is that he's dated women across the world. He's
Suti.
the mobilizer.
Suti, I have a question. Do you know the island Painkil?
Painkil? Painkil?
Wait. That's one of the tiki drinks. Is that what you're going with?
The painkiller. So I believe this is an island off of Indonesia. Can I actually show you a 2-minute video?
Before you do, I want to do a shout out to
Bullshit. John,
Yes,
don't do this.
Island.
What?
Mel, go ahead.
So before Beth takes off, Beth, thank you for joining us and bringing all your sparkles. Come back later.
My pleasure. I'm going to try and get up in the morning so I can see the man's name who I just already spaced out. The other squid meister.
Click your heels.
Okay, they're
We
clicking.
got Thorn, we've got Abby, we've got Bobby.
And so Beth is going to come back for sure at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time because she's one of our karaoke regulars. So she'll sing you a song.
I probably won't. 7 p.m. I will be at work, John.
Oh, you're gonna work?
Listen,
Oh, we're gonna
before
be.
you
Yeah, I
leave-
have to be at work
Okay.
I'm at work at 6.
Before you go,
On
can we sing
Saturday?
with you before you go now?
Oh yeah,
Who's
sing
the
us a song, Beth.
Okay.
Before you go,
Sure, I can pull up a song.
It's got to be a karaoke. It's got to be definitely a karaoke version. No lyric versions tonight.
We're not allowed to do lyric versions because we're recording and streaming, right? That's
Yeah.
So you know what?
I'm gonna go.
Here
I'll be
I'm
back.
coming back here. Hold on. So I can
Before
just,
you-
I have an a cappella song that I know that I've learned years ago. And I don't think
Here
it's
we
gonna
go.
get us into trouble. If I can remember all the words, let's see if I can do it. Whenever I feel afraid, I hold my head erect and whistle a happy tune so no one will suspect I'm afraid. There you go.
Before you leave,
Thank you.
before you
That's
leave,
very
no, don't
sweet.
go away. Beth.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to get this message out to everybody here. Just nuts and bolts of us becoming really viable is we're going to be needing to raise money. And I have something I'd like everyone to do. If you have a relationship with your CPA, if you use a public accountant, often they are approached by their clients to find tax shelters, places where they can donate money and they get benefit from it. And if we can prepare, or I will prepare kind of a little proposal that you can give them, see if you can tell them about SQUIDminders and what we do, so that when they have clients who are looking for something worthwhile to donate to, that they'll consider using SQUID. So with everybody who's getting this now, Bear in mind, if you use a CPA, you want to chat them up. Okay, that
is the pitch.
That's the
That's
pitch.
it.
I don't use a CPA. I'm a poor person. So
Okay, but I just wanted to make sure you got
but
that.
I appreciate the information. And
Yeah.
I know how to
Beth-
find you. And I'm going to come back in the morning. So I'm sure I'm going to have more information to pick up. So
Yay.
I have
Thank you so much.
my work at Climate Pledge Arena, which we also use the letters CPA for, Climate Pledge Arena. In the last 10 days, my brain, I keep saying the processor, it's full. And tonight, this whole thing, it's like, now I've got stuff in there. I'm like, okay, where am I going to put this? But I can remember the acronym, which is awesome.
That's the beauty of this.
That's stuck with me. Plus, I took a picture of it.
We will be in touch.
Yeah, I'll be back in the morning. I want to see the other doctor in the morning, so I'm going to try and get up and be up in time for that.
Beth, do you have small children in your life?
I don't see them much, unfortunately.
Define small.
Okay, so here's one of the things I can offer all of our early bird listeners and viewers and so on is I will happily make videos for these small people in your life of Dr. Mel, the Squid Lady, saying hi. Hi, how are you?
So like a cameo.
I would be happy to do shout outs to anybody and remind them to think before they ink.
Dr. Mel, I think you should recap the event till now and tell the live stream audience what's been happening.
So I will be back in the morning and I will get more information after I get some sleep.
Hey, everybody unmute and say goodnight, Beth.
Sleep for us too.
I will do my best.
Say hi to Dorothy.
Remember, Beth,
Remember,
Beth, that brain is more amazing than any computer ever was. All right.
But boy, I'll tell you, when the processor gets full, it's hard.
Oh, you're good. You're equal to
It's
the
hard.
task.
Focus on your breath.
You're equal
Focus on your breath.
Yes, I'll put my CPAP machine and then I'll really focus on my breath.
That actually helps a lot.
Shall we recap?
A recap. Yes.
Shall we recap?
Night, guys. Thank you.
Night, Beth.
Good
nice
night.
meeting you, Dr. Mel and everybody else.
Okay. So what are we recapping? Abby, bring us in. Tell us the recap.
Yeah, we started and we have discussed the Squid poem. We have lovely people among us. We've got Thorn, Lucas had joined us. Erzsie was here. We've got Annie, Bill. How do I take your name? Is it Welch? Do I call you Welch?
Joe. Call her Joe. J-O.
Oh, Joe. Okay, Joe. And City and John and Weber. So we've been having an amazing time. Our main event starts at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Everyone, please join us then. Email us at SQUIDminders@gmail.com for more info.
That's really pretty.
Yeah, that sounds
the way your hands kind of phase in and out of existence. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Abby. So now what? What do you guys want to do next? There was another video, right?
Yeah, did you want to see a video of, I think it's an island off of Indonesia? And the whole premise that's important about this video, this is one of my friends, Jimbo Clark. They actually do a program called Brains on the Beach.
I want to go to the
An oxymoron. That's where you go to lose your brains.
On the beach.
Well, their premise is this, is do you think your mind thinks differently on a beach? And the answer is yeah. And so they do these retreats. And this retreat, the Pangkil, is an Indonesian island it's a private island with about 10 people or more. You can actually rent the entire island.
Who wants to sponsor me?
Yeah, here we go. So let me 2 minutes and I'll show you what the painkiller is all about. Here we go. Welcome Indonesia in the house.
Would your brain behave differently if it was on a beach? And the answer is yeah.
Oh.
I agree completely. Looking out over it
is this great sense of finally letting go.
Right, so connection is showing up in a lot.
Astounding.
Oh.
Because we're not trying to stay where we are. We want to move to the future.
Expand my own thinking and that.
And people will start to find out who you are and you discover more about yourself.
Hey Siri, find me a place to sunbathe.
First of all, unbelievable.
So if you're stuck right now, this is a really good thing to be doing.
Gratitude, vulnerability, community.
Find the time, because this accelerates whatever it is you want to be doing.
Where the land meets the sea. That's where it's at in a lot of ways.
What's the name of the island?
I want to go to the painkiller. Take me with you.
I don't think the name is Painkiller Island.
But it could be.
Yeah, actually, here, let me find the website and.
It is painkiller.
Looking out over an expanse of
The
water.
Maldives, right?
Looking out over an expanse of water is the most amazing experience, and it's so simple.
But also when you,
Because I know the stone, it's similar to the island that I have visited.
I know when people like look like totally surprised or totally like that's what's going on, it's not gonna make sense.
It's not going.
If people are like, oh yeah, this is what happens, or if people are like, what's going on? Neither of those are gonna sell.
So this is the website here. If you can see the picture of the island in my frame, right? This is what the island looks like. And the website's here. It was on the TripAdvisor Certificate of Excellence 2018. But
It's Pangkil, not Painkill, right?
Pangkil. Yeah, Pulau Pangkil.
Pangkil.
It was
Bintan,
Palau.
yeah.
Pangkil.
I've been to Palau.
So the Bintan, it's the like this the city is
There you
in
are,
Bintan.
John.
Yeah. The city itself has maybe like thousands islands.
Wow.
Right, yeah.
Bintan, yeah. Yeah. They have many private resort, and I've been there. I've been work there for like maybe 5 times, but I never been to any island of the Bintan. So I just know Pangkil.
I think you want to show like how beautiful it is, and you want to show how easy it is to access right now.
Yeah.
Wait, Dr. Mel, I don't think I ever introduced Siti to you, and likewise.
Not
Siti
yet.
is a professor. I have? Siti is
No,
a professor
I don't think
there
we
at the
have.
university.
Hi.
And
Yes,
she,
yes. What?
yes, Siti, why don't you introduce yourself? The
Oh,
university.
yeah. Yeah. I work in University of Jambi in Department of Psychology. I'm a clinical psychologist, but yeah, I think almost we all are clinical psychologists. No?
You're one of the only ones here. But there's a lot of clinical psychology juice in the SQUIDminders world.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm a clinical psychologist, and right now I want to learn more about mindfulness, because that's why I have a talk with Abhishek in ICP, and then I think we have like the same interest with mindfulness.
Yeah, and testing mindfulness out, and SQUID will be a perfect opportunity for us to try with students and adults, all people of all types,
Yeah.
and test it out.
CT, when you do your clinical, what audiences do you specialize in?
Adult.
Okay.
Adult, yeah, adult. I work with adult, and mostly for now, I mostly work with the student in the university.
And you're calling students in a university adults?
Yes.
Yeah, they are adults.
Emerging adult,
Emerging
right?
adults.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
So
there's
it's
a
like,
unique window when we are supposed to be adult-like, but we're at a university. So I know that a lot of people, the biggest thing they learn in school is how much beer they can drink.
Oh, maybe because in Indonesia beer is not common, so maybe alcohol is not the problem, but they also have like a depression problem. They show many symptoms of depression.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Depression and anxiety are, this is one of the things we
You're
were
breaking
talking
up.
about a little bit. Was the
You're breaking.
pandemic. I'm breaking up. How
You're
about
breaking
now?
up. You're
Any better?
yeah, a
Okay.
little. You're out of
So-
sync. You're out of
so-
sync now. You're ahead of
I'm out of
yourself.
sync.
You're jumping into the future.
So no, the idea that we've got the mental health pandemic that is, while we have the pandemic virus that is definitely having a horrible impact on a lot of people, we have the
Wow.
mental health impact, and how many people in the world have experienced some problems with mental health
Wow.
over the last, especially
Wow.
the last 2 years.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
And we don't have
wow.
enough mental health professionals. There's no way to have enough mental health professionals. So part of SQUIDminders is the idea that you don't have to have 2 years or 5 years of training in order to be able to help other people. You need enough to be able to help other people connect to the resources that they need. So the idea of having peer counseling, and with your students in college, do you have students who are learning how to teach, to coach, to support other students?
Yeah, so from 2019, I already developed a program, a peer counselor program for my students. So I train the student to be a peer counselor for the other student, but because it's like the bureaucracy and all the system, so I can't make this program to be the part of the university. But since 2021, when everyone aware that mental health is important, and they want to take the program to be part of our university, because one of my friends has promoted health university in our university. Yeah. So I want to gather the peer counselor again, and then I want to make that program work with the other students.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that work. This is essential stuff.
Yes.
So, and this is one of the reasons Abhi wants us to work together, is because we've got resources for you.
Yeah,
And
because
being able to connect would be fantastic.
In our university we just have like 5 or 6 psychologists, and it's impossible if we have to counsel all the students. So we need more resources, and then we ask the student to be part of the team.
Amazing.
Yeah, but what they will do is just a peer counselor, so they just perform like basic counseling. They will use like some micro skill to help other students. So they have just like listen to the problem, and then if the problem is too severe for the student, and then they will refer the cases to the psychologist.
Good work. Good work, my friend.
Could you teach us one of the micro?
So the micro skill is the basic of, I think it's the basic of counseling. Like the book is about helping relationship. So the basic, like you have how to, like for example, listening skill. So it's not just hearing what they said, but it's like fully attending to the client and then get what the idea. So the basic, it's like what I teach the student is to be a good counselor, a peer counselor. At least you have to perform the skill listening, including attending in it, and then paraphrasing. So just the basic of that, and then the point is like you hear the problem of the student, and then you like empower them what they can do in the resources. I
Wow.
think something like that.
Amazing.
Thank you for doing that. That's wonderful. So I know that, so one of the things that back behind the scenes, I have just been swapping messages with John about the poem, the SQUIDminders poem and the 5 steps of SQUID. And we're looking for people to read it. And if you speak other languages, not like anybody here speaks other language, the idea of being able to get your interpretation of it so that we can try and get it into as many languages as possible. So
that's a tall order, my friend.
it is a tall order, but it turns out if you have people from around the world who already know languages, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's sort of a, hey, how would this translate? And then can you make it translate with rhymes? One of the basic concepts I wanted to mention is the SQUID poem in English works because squid is 5 letters. It's a great metaphor. It's an animal. It's pronounceable. And what we found is, okay, great. What about other languages? So squid in Spanish is calamar. Okay, calamar is 7 letters. Can we make 7 letters work? Not really. Actually, if you're going to do a 5-step process and you're trying to spread it into 7, it starts getting unwieldy. So in Spanish, we're using pulpo, and Professora Pulpo is octopus in Spanish. Octopus being too long a word to use in English, but we can still do 5 steps. So if we look at Bahasa and we look at the animals in Bahasa, and being able to take an animal, ideally one with tentacles that can squirt ink, and then pick the 5 letters, and then come up with good examples. The number 1 and number 2 is the ability to stop and ask questions. So any language where you can make the first step stop and the second one question, and relate that to an animal, but the metaphor works in all sorts of
animal, or it should be animal with tentacles.
Animals with tentacles work really well for this because everybody loves animals with tentacles unless they have a phobia.
Because I'm thinking about the name of the animal, but so it's squid. It's good in English, I think, but when I translate it to Bahasa Indonesia, squid is cumi. It's either cumi or it's sotong or gurita. So all the words, it's not quite beautiful to hear.
What about so with Abhishek is Raja Sepia, and sepia is and now I'm forgetting which language. Sepia is cuttlefish. So we've got cuttlefish. So there are only 4 creatures inside the whole of the cephalopod world. There are 4 creatures.
Mel?
Yeah.
Name this squid.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Portland, Oregon, this squid's name is Jen Cox.
Jen Cox.
Welcome.
She's still connecting audio. Hey, Jen, what's up?
It's
Hey, John. Hello, everyone.
Thank you for joining us. She just finished walking her dog.
Nice.
So, Dr. Mel, Jen, let me introduce you to Dr. Mel. It's her birthday.
Happy birthday! Oh, happy Happy birthday.
Thank you for joining us.
Of course. I might pop in later during your day.
Thank you. Yes. That you're awake right now is fantastic anyway. Oh my gosh, we're coming in at 2 a.m. Ah.
If you wait 5 minutes, you can be part of our hour 2 photo.
Yes, definitely. Everybody here, hour 2.
Jen, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell the amazing people here what you do in Portland.
Well, thank you. I'm Jen Cox in Portland, Oregon. I'm currently trying to decide what my job title is. Right now it's Business Development and Marketing for RPS Events, formerly known as Royce's Prop Shop, which we do event decor and design all over the Pacific Northwest, Idaho, California, Texas, and Florida lately.
You've expanded.
Yes, we keep getting more and more events. Oh, we've hit Arizona too.
Arizona's closer than Florida.
Or Texas.
Yeah, Florida was not pleasant. Well, Arizona in July was not pleasant either, but.
So Jen and I have actually known each other through Meetings Professional International for years. She's a past president and just generally amazing.
Yay!
So Jen knows, like, props. We're talking about props, all right? Mel, you know, you got props. Like, these people have, like, some serious props. They have warehouses of props in Portland and other cities. Jen, tell me the craziest event you've ever put together, or maybe Royce has put together.
I don't know about crazy, because they're all super fun. They're all just, like, amazingly fun. And it's kind of like, if you can dream it, we can build it. We can make it happen.
I can dream big. I've got some serious designs I would love to discuss with you.
Okay, yeah. Mel, let's go ahead and Jen, is it okay? I want Mel to describe something crazy, all right?
Okay.
Oh, well, but I'm going to take too long. And we've got the 2-hour photo that we have to do, right?
Well, we'll pause at the 2-minute mark.
Okay. So before I do like the longer description of events I want to do, I want to say, so of all of the props you have you had this one?
No.
Let me get rid of it.
So what is wrong with this picture?
Darth Vader.
This is my favorite Halloween prop of all time. It's like, okay, kids, what's wrong with this picture?
Is that solid? What is it made out of?
It's just your cheapo like plastic prop. Let me just do the little thing here where I do that and I go to this and I say, look.
Oh my God, that's really cool.
Yeah, so as Dr. Mel, the SQUID Lady, I know a lot about invertebrates, and you know what they don't have?
Spines.
Any
Vertebrae.
version of this.
Yeah, they don't have vertebrae.
This is exactly the wrong thing. There are very few octopus skeletons in the world. They're all in the Halloween shop.
It sounds like we're enjoying some of the things that we create. So hey there, let's see. So do you guys know who this is?
Yes.
Tui. I made Tui. And then I have a teenager, so you can see where this is going, who's into theater. So this is a Wiggle. Do you guys know about it's not the guy who didn't like musicals, but I think it's Starboy Productions does something where Black Friday.
I'm too distant to know all about it, so you have to tell me.
So the first one is a musical called Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes.
Where an alien flower comes, and it starts off as a very little flower, and then
Feed me, Seymour.
Feed me, Seymour.
And so it's for human blood.
It does well, and not just a taste for human blood, but it requires it to be able to thrive.
Like a mosquito.
It's a virus, yeah. And then Wiggles or Wiggly here is part of a musical called Black Friday, where this is my version. Actually, this was just made out of material. I don't use any kind of I just use my imagination and some thread and glue guns and stuff like that. And so my kid wanted one of these. They bought it, and I said, I'm gonna make one. So I made them a Wiggle, and I like mine better. It's way squishier.
And you guys have to turn on your cameras. Turn on your cameras for the 2-hour mark.
Are we almost
Yes,
here?
here we go. We got a few seconds left. All right, everybody.
Let me bring Tui into the picture.
Yeah.
Okay. Here comes the
Love you.
countdown. Come on, Jen. You got to do some crazy pose or something.
Yeah.
10,
Sorry.
9, 8,
5,
7, 6.
and go. I got it. Good job, everybody. Good job.
Thank you. Okay, now you can keep talking.
So, so let me just introduce myself, I guess, bigger picture. My name is Janette Ocampo-Welch. They call me Joe, and I am, my brand is Ask Joe, and right now I am launching my Will Fairy. I'm thewillfairy.com. Bigger picture is that I'm, my parents were born in Colombia. I'm a first-generation American. I'm trilingual in English, Spanish, and American Sign Language. I'm a certified sign language interpreter. I know, we'll talk all about that in a minute. And so I'm also a multipreneur and a karaoke singer. I have a family of artists. My husband is an international blues musician. My teenager, we just applied for colleges yesterday and they want to be a director of musical theater. And we are like an intersectionality, you know, hodgepodge. We've got mental health and executive function, you know, all of those wonderful attributes in our house. I'm raising a trans kid. I'm queer, you know, we're all the things. So, you know, just it's such a joy. So I'm a theater rat, like it's all the things, like the fact that there's a prop master here, like literally this was just material in my basement. And then all of a sudden I realized that I'm actually a puppet maker. So I guess that's a thing. And, and I'm also as a Latina, lead Latina here in the United States, I am, you know, a woman of color. And a lot of my work, bigger picture in terms of leadership and how I show up in the world is around social justice, making sure like my premise is about education and making sure that things are accessible to everybody. As a lifelong interpreter, that is just so critical to me. So I do a lot of the stuff I do in 3 languages. And that's kind of a nugget. I don't even know if John knows all those things about me. When I see John, it's all karaoke all the time. So I don't even know if he knows what is, as I would say, like all this.
Joe, Joe, I know it's a little improv, but could I ask you to do a little sign language to something Mel says? Would that be okay?
It depends on what. So I do not want to be quoted because, and this is the piece about it, especially with the deaf community, if you want deaf input, then you should be talking to deaf people about creating language around your stuff. Like, I'm happy to tell you that, you know, like an octopus or squid, this is a sign that happens, like, you know, like they, you know, they propel themselves, right? But that in itself is not necessarily squid, and that's certainly not the meaning of your piece, right? Of what you're trying to bring to picture. And there is a lot of really fantastic work around deaf education. And so that to me is just an unbelievable partnership, I think, waiting to happen. So anything I can do to facilitate that, happy to, but I would really, you know, I can see the nodding, you get it. Like I'm not the person who gets to represent that.
We have had a couple of people who've done an interpretation of the Squid poem in ASL, but both were hearing.
Oh, great.
Right. One is a woman named Valerie Sutton, who is the designer of sign writing. Have you seen sign writing?
I have not.
It's the idea of putting the sign language into a font. Because sign language is such a unique language that how do you read it in print? So sign writing is this whole idea of having sign language in a print font. I met her through Wikipedia, where we were doing an inclusivity event. And we had an event where she tried to do her sign language interpretation while I did the Squid poem. So that was interesting. One of the people that, two of the people that were the most amazing conversation I've had so far on this, deafblind at the Seattle Lighthouse for the Blind. We got together and had a conversation face to face with interpreters.
Yeah, that's actually one of my specialties is the deafblind community. So who did you meet out there?
Oh my gosh. My brain for the names it's pre-pandemic. So I've
That's okay.
forgotten the names
Got
of the
you.
people I met, but we had this fantastic conversation about, well, how could we do tactile, the pro-tactile sign language version of Squid for your Squid brain?
Exactly.
Totally into working with anybody who wants to come up with the adaptations. And here's where I am totally not into trademarking and copywriting and formalizing. It is this and only this. We want the concepts to spread. Any language, any adaptation, the whole idea is, can you take a concept that says stop and ask questions and put it into a format where people recognize that they need to pause when they are emotionally charged. And if there's an animal and it squirts ink and we can use that, then great. If it doesn't work, then pick a different animal. But how do we teach?
I would also, yeah, I would look at deaf talent, look at some of the performers who are especially doing poetry.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much creativity in the linguistics of American Sign Language. And I am just thoroughly impressed that you already have Lighthouse for the Blind in your world. Like, that's amazing, because that's
Lighthouse
often
for the
not
Blind.
how people.
So you've got to be, okay, where are you based right now, Joe?
I'm out of Boston.
Okay, so the Seattle Lighthouse for the Blind, the executive director, the reason that I got involved
You're
in the first
breaking up,
blind
Mel.
community. Sorry, thanks for letting me know when that happens. Kirk Adams was the head of Seattle Lighthouse for the Blind. He's now the president of American Foundation for the Blind. And he brought me in as an ally. He's coming to our show tonight or today. He'll be here at 1 o'clock, 1:30ish p.m. Pacific time. Love to introduce you. So
certainly, yeah, if I can make it. So as a sign language interpreter, I'm actually interpreting Rocky Horror. And so yes, so it's here, it's actually live. It's a company called Moonbox Theater. And so they do this is actually a revival. They did it but pre-pandemic, and so now they're doing it now. And we've been having to like manage all the COVID rules and everything. So it's been really cool. And so we've been working on that. So tonight is one of the 2 performances. So I don't know how many of you are going to come from your respective locations to see Rocky Horror, but it is a ton of fun. Well, someone said, don't dream it, be it. And I was, don't dream it. And I was like, don't dream it, be it. So, and John, did you ask me to sing?
If you want.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what is your favorite song, Joe? What is your favorite Rocky Horror song?
Oh, Rocky Horror song. My head is in sign language, so Rocky Horror is not a good choice for me right now because I'm not thinking of the songs in like song form. I'm thinking of them in story and sign language form.
I'll take it in sign language form.
No.
What's a sweet transvestite look like in sign language?
I'm, again, like our interpretation, that's a whole thing, but it is influenced by we have an ASL coach who is deaf, and he spoke to trans folks in his world to make sure that the representation is there as usual. What can I sing for you?
Are you guys doing this in a way that people from outside of the area can see it?
No, unfortunately not. And I don't think they have streaming rights. So I actually, and I don't know if I've mentioned this to you, John, I actually am founder of a nonprofit for LGBTQ teens. We had created in 2018 before all this happened, and I included the word virtual, live and virtual, or in person and virtual. And so we actually you know what, I'll put that link in here. They did a quarantine special that has like all these, spooky songs and stuff. And then also, because of my connections and my passion for access, we made sure that we got deaf talent to do a performance of the song. So the teens are side by side with, Amelia and Josh from Spring Awakening from Broadway, for example, and some other artists there. So I'll get the link and I'll put it in the chat so you guys can check that out. I know there's like so much going on here.
Well, I'm delighted that we have crossed paths because you're doing fantastic stuff. And the idea, it really is about just connecting the dots.
It really is. And I love it. John, I met John because of karaoke, and already just the sheer, just, and it's not even standing in your presence or in your wake. It's just like being just showing up when you, like, having the trust to be like, if I show up somewhere that John's doing something, it's going to be a blast, and it's going to be, you know, I'm going to meet amazing people. So that's been the case.
Can I do a how did I meet John thing at this point? Can I describe how I met John? So a few days ago, with all of the planning for, we're going to do this thing for 24 hours. I used to work at Microsoft a long time ago, and I have been intending, and John, I never actually posted to the Old Timers account, but I had been intending to get a message out to the old timer Microsofties and say, hey, we're doing this thing. And you know how on group posts, you're not sure whether you can or can't post something, whether it breaks the rules or not. So I'm looking in the group and I'm like, I wonder, is it okay to post a party? And I look under events and I see that somebody has posted a virtual birthday party, and it's this guy named John Chen, who's also evidently an ex-Microsoftie. And I go a little deeper and I discover John Chen doesn't just have virtual birthday parties, he makes them. He makes so many of these things. So John, was it like less than a week ago? I'm like, can we talk? And then you had the availability to do this. And I will hand the mic to you and say, okay. And then I said 24 hours. And instead of saying, oh God, no, I can't do 24 hours, you said, I really like 24 hours. We've known each other approximately a week, but we both worked at Microsoft I got there in the 80s, he got there in the 90s. And we have a lot of
awesome.
Who we know.
That's hilarious.
You know, we put out into the universe, you know, our own vibe, and I just love it when the vibes come together. Because just hearing that about John, I didn't know all that, but absolutely, I would be that kind of person. I actually, one of my taglines is that I'm an action verb. So when people are like, "Oh, I've got an idea," I'm like painting the whiteboard. I'm like, you know, I've got pens and papers and sticky notes, and I'm like ready to rock and roll.
Joe?
So, yeah.
Go ahead. You were continuing.
I did.
Squid is a verb. I will plug.
I have to interrupt. I have to interrupt. John, can you help one of my friends restream this on his YouTube account? He's trying with the app.restream link that you've sent, but it's not working maybe.
I love that he's trying to restream it. Okay, well, you guys are doing that.
Abhi, if he clicks restream, it's a free account. You do have to create a free account then to restream.
Okay.
That's the only other way I know. Otherwise, he can share any of our live streams, which would be on Facebook, YouTube.
All right. I'll see it. Thank you.
So, Joe, you were talking about being an action verb. One of the goals with SQUID is to get the language of how to squid your squid brain. It's a verb. Can you squid? Hey, I see that you look like you're getting upset. Can we squid this out? Can I have a conversation with you? And CT, when we were talking about the peer counseling, imagine two young adults. One sees the other one's kind of losing their mind because something happened, and they're able to say, hey, do you want to squid that out? And it's this step by step of, okay, so pause and let's focus on your breath. And it's so interesting. It's like, what's the first thing you do when you are trying to calm down? And across all of the literature I have seen, the number one, the simplest, easiest go-to default is focus on your breath. There isn't one that's better. Do you guys have one that is better than focus on your breath when you're trying to calm down?
Before you focus on your breath, we have to focus on Jen, because Jen's going to leave us until tomorrow. Bye, Jen.
Jen, props, party. Do you have to go right now?
I got to get some sleep, and I have to be horizontal.
Be horizontal. I look forward to talking to you about event planning, because I've been conceiving of things that are beyond reasonable for a long time.
Beyond reasonable.
I love beyond reasonable.
Great to meet you, Jen.
Great to meet all of you. Hope to see you all later. Bye. I don't know how to end this on my phone.
I have to leave. I'm sorry, I have to leave too. Yeah.
You will always be with us.
Nice to meet you, CP.
I think I'm
nice to meet you all.
May the squid be with you.
She did it.
Squid it out. Okay,
Yes.
I will tell my student if they have any problems and then squid it out.
Oh, and we will be there. You can get me and Captain Cuttlefish or King Cuttlefish to show up in your classes.
Yes, I will.
Zimbardo is also available to do video visits.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
My student will be happy.
It's pretty cool getting him around the world at this point.
Yeah. Okay, thank you all.
Hi.
Terima kasih.
Nice to meet you.
Sama-sama.
Sama.
Selamat ulang tahun.
Mwah.
Happy birthday in bahasa Indonesia.
Thank you.
Selamat ulang tahun. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey, Joe, when a hearing person like me sees people communicating in sign language and weeps copiously.
You say weeps?
You bet. It's an amazing experience.
It sounds like it strikes you profoundly.
Deeply.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's interesting, especially as being a trilingual and you know, kind of navigating in the circles both online and in person. I don't even think about it like, you know, how it changes, because all it is conversation. Like it's incredibly, it's not sonic, right? It's not aural. There's so much information. It's just like having this conversation for me.
It's
so for me, as when I'm in whatever environment, it doesn't even register, because it's just it's like speaking Spanish for me. It's just something I trade into.
Wow.
May I show you just a short clip of one of the songs that they did? Is that permitted in this party?
As long as it's not copyrighted, it's fine. If it's original music, or again, not the...
Nope, then we're not gonna be able to do it. All right. Actually, you know what I can do is I can show it to you, but you can't hear the kids. Well, right, there's no music. I'll keep the music off.
If the kids are singing, I think it's okay, right? As long as...
okay.
Yeah,
it's the kids are singing.
It can't be the original version because we'll get...
It's not the original version.
Oh, yeah, let's go ahead. Let's do that.
All right, and I don't need to do the whole song if you guys can dictate that.
How long
We're
is
here all day.
I don't know. We only got 22 hours of time, Joe. I don't think we have time for that. Could you just cut it short, would you?
So you can see here, I sent you guys the link. The whole show is Mystic River Theater Company is LGBTQ teens that we did everything. You'll see it here too. We created an iPad studio. We sent it to them with a microphone. We would go around and then get it back. And then between my husband and myself and everybody, we created this this show.
There we go.
So I'm going to do full screen right now. You guys are already sharing. And then this is one of their favorites, my teenager's favorite composer, Joe Iconis, who also is responsible for Be More Chill, Black Suits, and some other things. So
here we go. Oh, and Joe, I need you to click share computer soundy thing. So go ahead and pause for a sec. You can just reshare or unshare, reshare.
Stop share.
This is just like our karaoke drill, you know.
I know, right?
Wow.
Yeah. And did I have to share some? I had to do something.
You have to click a box. You have to click two check boxes, one for video and one for
check boxes.
This is your Zoom tutorial. You think you have a squid mind? Wait till you get a squid Zoom mind.
I know. What's interesting is like this is one of my fortes. I am very comfortable in the Zoom world, and so it's just very strange for me to not. Oh, there we go. To not know what's going on here. All right, so I've got my YouTube. I've got this channel.
When you share
my share screen. Oh, you know what? I do forget that. That's the place.
Quite often, it's right. The second greatest Zoom challenge next to you're on mute.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay. All right, and this is my teenager. Now, mind you, a year ago, so they've actually they just are so amazing.
And before you hit play, you have a box on the right. Like if you can move that chat box or close it. Yes, it's still on, so you have to move it all the way to the right. You can also hide the meeting controls. You have a single screen, I believe, Joe, yes?
I do right now have a single screen.
I think you can get around it too if you actually just share directly to YouTube, right? Do you know when you share a screen instead of screen one, you actually pick the browser?
I thought I had. So there's a whole bunch of little things that I'm not doing. I'm certainly. It says opera, so it's showing me my browser.
Yeah.
That's what you want, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that's what I was showing you.
Let's see again.
John, you can find the image that I'm trying to share on Zoom chat.
Oh, there we go.
And so, like for me, I only see the show. Do you see something further, more?
We see gray bars on the top. That's your Zoom bar, and a gray bar on the right, which I believe is some kind of chat window or something else, or our video.
Yeah, it's our display.
Yes. Yep. Actually,
how about this?
There. That's good. And then, did you say hide meeting controls?
Hide meeting controls. I didn't realize that comes up for you guys. That's good to know.
Isn't that? Oh yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Barring everybody, and the gray bar in the center will disappear. Yeah. There you go. You nailed it.
Ta-da!
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, hit play.
Wow, look at all these things.
And life was a lovely lark before I met you. Angels were feeding me cherry pies, and then you opened up my eyes to things most dark. Now when I try to sleep at night, I think of penny dreadfuls and many headfuls of nasty evil things, and I clutch my pillow tight, but a power beyond my bed pulls me to places where I ruminate on nasty evil things. And I try to clear my mind, but I find my mind's been intertwined with gory thoughts, and there's nothing I can do. At night I think of penny dreadfuls, and it's all because of you.
Before I met you, I never dropped or popped no pills. I wasn't all hopped up on chills, and life was stars and dreams. Sometimes I'd like to go back to the to be, but then you take a hold of me, and I need to smell those skies and hear those screams.
When I try to sleep at night, I think of penny dreadfuls and many headfuls of nasty evil things, and I clutch my pillow tight, but a power beyond my bed pulls me to places where I ruminate on nasty evil things. And I try to clear my mind, but I find my mind's been intertwined with gory thoughts, and there's nothing I can do. Ooh, when I try to sleep at night, I think of penny dreadfuls, and it's all because of you. And ooh, I didn't know what I was missing, and there wasn't nothing I was missing.
When I try to sleep at night, I think
of penny dreadfuls and many headfuls of nasty evil things, and I clutch my pillow tight, but a power beyond my bed pulls me to places where I ruminate on nasty evil things. And I try to clear my mind, but I find my mind's been intertwined with gory thoughts, and there's nothing I can do. Ooh, when I try to sleep at night, I think of penny dreadfuls, and it's all because of. When I try to sleep at night, I think of penny dreadfuls, and it's all because of. When I try to sleep at night, I think of penny dreadfuls, and it's all because of. When I try to sleep at night, I think of penny dreadfuls, and it's all because of. When I try to sleep at night, I think of penny dreadfuls, and it's all because of you.
Beautiful. That's brilliant.
Isn't that cool?
So I just, if we see someone coming in, I want to do a shout out to my friend Vaughn. And when I was watching the interpreter there, my friend Vaughn has so much in common with that your interpreter that I'm like, oh my gosh, she has to be here. It's only 2 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning.
She's a deaf actress.
Oh, brilliant.
That's Amelia Hensley. She was in Spring Awakening. She's been in TV shows as well as on Broadway, and amazing human as well as just an amazing talent.
The song itself is perfect for this theme too. I mean, here we are at Halloween and it's about things on our mind. and the idea that we're stuck ruminating on dark stuff is so much a part of human suffering. Like, so what is your brain doing when you want to be asleep? Well, it's not sleeping. How come? Well, because we have so much that we can focus on instead of sleep. So that is fantastic. Well, congratulations to the.
Thank you for sharing, letting me share a little bit of my kid and
absolutely,
and just kind of, you know, the things that we can manifest, right? We talk about these ideas, and it's like, well, you know, don't dream it, be it. Well, thank you also for giving me so much of the stage. I know I kind of I spoke for a while, so it's a joy. I know that time is really at a premium here, so.
And yet 24 hours gives us so much flexibility. So the
You're breaking up, Mel.
gosh, what was I had this whole layout of things that we could do this morning while we are building up speed to our big event at 10. But it's also 2:30 in the morning, so I'm also very flexible about what do we actually do. What do you guys want to do? There's people in the house with guitars on screen. We can play music, we can rock out.
Let's have it.
Say more, Abby.
Yeah. Well, I think the grass is greener on that side.
It's lighter on your side though. It's pitch black here.
John Chen.
John is away from computer, AFK.
Oh, I wanted to know if that's a real aquarium behind him, and if so, are there squid in it?
That is entirely the case. It is a Monterey Bay aquarium, the Squid Cam.
But it's not right behind John.
Nothing is right behind John for more than a few moments. John has the magic for making any background into his background.
It's beautiful. It's a fantastic backdrop.
Yeah, it's one of those things where in the midst of a conversation with him, suddenly there's squid floating behind him. I'm like, he's the one. He's the person I need for this.
The best backdrop award is a tie tonight between John and Thorne. It's got to be.
Bill, I have a question. I have been, having retired from the CIA, I've been doing a little investigating, and I've found about 133 Bill O'Grady's.
No.
Who are you? Why does your name sound so familiar to me?
Will the real Bill O'Grady please stand?
About 25 years ago, a Bill O'Grady in Australia contacted me and said, I want to start a Bill O'Grady Mutual Admiration Club. And nothing ever came of it, but there's him, there's me, and then there's a professor at the University of Toronto who is also Bill O'Grady. I thought there were only 3 of us.
So Thorne, can I tell you how I know this guy?
Sure.
Okay. So, and Bill, tell me, which event was it? Do you remember? You were an MC. It was the Seattle Town Hall.
Yes.
And I have a fearlessness about coming up to people that I am interested in talking to and saying hi.
That was an amazing experience meeting you. It really was.
I show up. So
that was Says You. Remember Says
You?
So
Yeah,
Really?
for
Really?
the people in the United States, and Abby, let's see. Abby, you are here. So National Public Radio is, what's the equivalent outside of the United States? In India, do you guys have a radio show that's BBC oriented?
No, a public radio network. Do you have a public radio?
PRI?
We have a radio network, which is, although we have many regions here, many states, which are huge, there is one radio station that is live across all over the country, the same live stream. It's called All India Radio, AIR, like air.
Wow.
So, so in the United States, we have all of these different radio stations all over it, but we have this one group that we really like, especially is, I don't even know where to go with that one on the PRI and PR stuff, but Bill is.
As you brought it up, in AIR, I had a live concert playing my guitar and singing a few songs. That was fun.
Good.
Okay, so yes, so I know Bill because he is a radio personality for our local NPR KUOW radio station, and he has this voice that just makes me so happy to listen to. And you do the, it's called the underwriting,
Yes.
the recordings that thank our sponsors and all this other stuff. So every time I'm in my car and I turn on the radio, I get to hear Bill's voice, and then I'm like, Bill, how's it going?
You talk to my ghost. You talk to my ghost.
Read all mutual fund related documents carefully.
I've never heard, Bill sings, right?
Me? Not as a specialty, no.
You play guitar, yes?
You bet. I try to sing.
So Mel, can we ask Bill to play a song?
Yes, Bill, play a song.
Oh, birthday.
Avi has a guitar too. So Avi, what songs do you want to play? We need SQUID songs. We definitely need SQUID songs. We need Octopus's Garden.
Good enough?
Yeah, it works. Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Oh, I have that good segue to a SQUID story.
Yay!
Oh.
It's someone who actually did think before the ink. When I was a wee lad, I played music. I was a busker in the streets of Europe and in Heidelberg. My best friend in the world, his name is James Joyce. It really is his name. It's an Irish busker. And when we played in the streets in what is now the pedestrian zone, used to have a streetcar running through it. And when he would play, the crowds would be so heavy that the streetcars couldn't pass. It would be nothing for him to get 200 people to stop.
Yeah.
So we were having too much fun. So the city authorities decided that if you wanted to play, you had to register 2 days in advance where you were going to play, how many hours you were going to play, and you paid what was then 5 marks. And if they caught you with your guitar playing out of those boundaries, they took your guitar. So the point is that, Jimmy needed the guitar to get people to stop. So he played 2 songs and then put the guitar away before the police came. And then for 2 hours with a bottle of beer to keep his whistle wet, he was singing, there you go. He was singing Irish folk songs and telling the stories behind it. And people just loved it, ate it up.
Yeah.
All but one. From across the street on the third floor, and now we're getting to the squid moment, somebody threw a potato. And Jimmy's instant response was to look up the window, to the window, and shout, "Pass the salt, please."
I love potatoes.
And so he was able to squid before he did, think before he ate.
There's a lot of ways to respond to having something thrown at you, and that's a very generous one.
Well, if it's that can be dangerous.
He drank before he thanked.
Yeah, can you think before you drink is definitely one of the spin-offs on this.
Can you drink before you think? I think I like that one.
Even better. So, okay, so I saw that John has a guitar. I know that Abby has a guitar. What's possible on Zoom and with all of these guitars in the room?
I got a song.
You name it.
Yeah, bring it, John.
John, stand up so I can see what your shirt says.
Hold on a second.
What does your shirt say? I can't read it. Your shirt.
Happy quarantined birthday. Thank you. Oh, I got to show you mine too.
Woo! Awesome. That's really pretty.
That is from the San Diego Comic-Con and Tentacles. So.
That's beautiful.
All right. So John, what have you got for us?
Well, first let's check the volume for this. So first, can you hear this?
I don't have the right lighting. Go, dude.
Can you hear the guitar?
Sound is pretty low.
Go, go, go.
Okay, hold on.
Can't hear your
Yeah,
voice.
You're definitely sounding quiet. You guys were doing this.
What's
Oh
that?
my God, 2.5 hours in and only 21 and a half to go.
Isn't that cool?
Okay, can you hear the guitar now?
Yes,
Go, go.
Okay, right. You can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Because what you don't know, Mel, when I grew up in Stockton, California, is that I was an honor student, and then I went into the amazing world of punk rock. So I'm going to sing you an acoustic version of a punk rock song, and then you can squidify it after I'm done. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Okay, here we go. Hey,
I
ho,
want to be Jesse Squid.
let's go. Hey, ho, let's go. Hey, ho, let's go. Hey, ho, let's go. They're forming in a straight line. They're going through a tight whine. The kids are losing their mind. The blitzkrieg bop. They're piling in the back seat. There's generating steam heat. Pulsating to the backbeat. The blitzkrieg bop. Hey, ho, let's go. Shoot them in the back now.
Let's go.
What they want, I don't know. They're all revved up and they're ready to go. They're forming in a straight line. They're going through a tight whine. The kids are losing their minds. The blitzkrieg bop. The pilot in the back seat. Generating steam heat. Pulsating to the backbeat. The blitzkrieg bop. Hey, ho, let's go. Shoot 'em in the back now. What they want, I don't know. They're all revved up and ready to go, forming in a straight line. They're going through a tight whine. Kids are losing their minds. Blitzkrieg bop. They're piling in the back seat, generating steam heat, pulsating to the backbeat. The blitzkrieg bop. Hey, ho, let's go. Hey, ho, let's go. Join me. Hey, ho,
Oh,
let's go.
go.
Hey,
Hey,
ho, let's go. There you go.
Awesome. Amazing
And you
performance. by John.
you gave all of that up for a career with the digital world. Our loss.
There's a criticism among American rock fans about American singers singing with an English accent. Some of whom who've done it is Carrie Brownstein in Slater Kinney. She said, I don't remember the song, but she sings with an accent, and Americans are saying, "What are you doing?"
You're talking about Portlandia fame, Carrie?
You bet.
Ooh.
You know what? You're giving me a great segue to tie this back into SQUID, which is why we are here, ladies and gentlemen.
After all.
And that is a quote from what I think is a brilliant book. This guy is, he's an artist. He's not very good. He doesn't know what's wrong. He doesn't know why he's not what he could be. And a street busker explains it to him. Well, you have to remember, the song is always more important than the singer. And that is a perfect metaphor for altruism, and it's a perfect metaphor for why we are here and why we do what we do and why we have faith in SQUID, because our message is more important than any one person delivering the message. Now, Dr. Mel, I have discovered, is a very altruistic soul. She's doing her best to avoid taking credit for SQUID, but I hope without a lot of success. It's really wonderful that she's done this, and on her birthday as well, to have that. So please, as we go forward and you wonder about our motives, please recall the simple phrase, the song is more important than the singer.
I like that.
It's beautiful. Thorne, when I told Dr. Z that line, the song is more important than the singer, because as you've heard me say, as you've reminded me, I say quite frequently, it's not about me. So Dr. Z came back and said, but Mel, it is. It's like, no.
Yes,
it's like, what about Judy Garland? What about this? What about, and I'm like, no, it's the song. It's the song that matters. We just want lots of SQUIDminders out there. I was going to ask you, John, with the punk rock stuff, have you ever heard of the punk rock band Stanford Prison Experiment?
No.
There is a band called the Stanford Prison Experiment that was going for 10 years.
Ooh.
And we actually have a Stanford Prison Experiment musical, unrelated to the band, but just a big shout out to everything Stanford Prison Experiment related. This is the 50th year since the Stanford Prison Experiment happened, and Zimbardo ran that infamous, dangerously bad experiment. And I would love to be able to share one of the coolest parts of the Stanford Prison Experiment musical with you. So I'm going to pull that up on YouTube and send you the link.
Yeah, I'm also doing that.
Abby, you're familiar with the musical, right?
Yes, I'm also putting up the link.
Oh, if you'll pull up the link, I can just describe it for a little bit, because we don't have either of our people here yet. Yeah. But another amazing human that I happen to know, this one from my high school, has a strong background in engineering and a artsy side that is that Renaissance man thing of, he's really good with music. He has a collection of different things he can do, and parody lyrics. Parody lyrics are just this thing his brain wants to do. When I challenged him to do a song for the Stanford Prison Experiment, he went all out and created a 10-song musical that tells the story of the Stanford Prison Experiment across the set of things that happened, using songs from the 1971 period when the experiment happened, as the basis for the music that he then wrote new lyrics to. And for the anniversary back in August, he actually produced one of the songs, and it's called I Lost My Mind in Stanford Prison. So for anybody who does not know anything about the Stanford Prison Experiment, Google it. I recommend the 2015 movie. One of my peak experiences in my life is I'd been working with this person who I have a very high amount of respect for, Dr. Zimbardo. And I ended up unplanned getting to sit next to him at the premiere of the movie where Billy Crudup plays Dr. Phil Zimbardo. And I'm sitting next to Dr. Phil Zimbardo, and we're looking at the premiere in Hollywood in a sold out theater. And Dr. Z is talking during the movie, telling me where the movie was different from what actually happened. And there's the part of me that is aware that we were talking inside a full movie theater. And then there's the part of me that remembers, but it's the person who's being depicted on the screen it's okay. It's okay for me to be taking pictures of the screen. It was a peak moment for me to be able to have that opportunity to sit next to him. What I realized as I was driving home was it was a peak moment for him to be seeing his story told in a Hollywood theater after 30 years of trying to get that story represented well. And it was really well done movie. There's a whole lot of implications. Anyway, so moving on. Say that again.
I'm gonna have to bow out for a bit. I'm gonna keep my screen on and mute.
We're joining.
You can look at my sky, but I will be seeing you in all the old familiar places.
As long as you mute. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. Thanks for being here, Thorn. Do you have the video?
Yeah.
Which one? I Fell Apart?
Yeah.
Yes.
I Fell Apart in Stanford Prison. Thorn, you might really enjoy this.
Let me check. Who did this version? I think this is an original version of another song.
Totally original. This is our stuff.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, Kevin Nortrip is the one I want to do a shout out to.
Yeah, sure. Let me switch screens here. So talk about this. Who put this video together?
So Kevin Nortrip produced the entire thing as a tribute to the 50th anniversary of the Stanford Prison Experiment, which was 1971, August 15th through the 20th, 1971. So we posted this, I think, August 21st. Celebrate the day after. Phil Zimbardo called it done.
Okay, here we go. I Fell Apart in Stanford Prison.
We should mute everybody.
The horrors of the Holocaust were vast but far away. The volunteers for Milgram were somewhat led astray. I look skeptically upon the third wave in Palo Alto. What shocks me most, my own pitiful decay. I fell apart in Stanford Prison, lost in a role, abusing others behind bars, inflicting mental scars, and leaving them in deep despair. Paid no care, Stanford prison for fellow man. Risks infamy when I think back on you. Stanford prison and what was done, I cry for me.
There we go. Back to you, Mel. Oh, let's get you unmuted, Mel. Oh, try again.
You're on mute, Buzz like. Yes, I'd forgotten. And Kevin told me that is a very long song. So we'll pause there for now, but a sample of Kevin's brilliant parody lyrics. And I will put in the chat, we have the entire, actually, I think it's
Yes, I put the
YouTube description.
I already put the
A
link
link to the video.
Facebook. So
Excellent. And yeah, the entire libretto is up online. We're looking for people who want to help us produce the actual musical.
Joe's ready. I volunteer.
Yeah, Joe, we have the entire thing is written. We don't have the interstitial dialogue yet, but we're looking for who wants to help us produce it. It's so hungry to be produced. So unmute, tell me more. What are you thinking? You're excited about it.
I quoted that melody earlier.
Yes, you did. That's why I wanted to play it so badly for you.
That's like
I would love to show it to my team. So right, because we have they're the president of the theater company. So if I would love, I mean, I guess you have 24 hours right now. And just so you know, what I'm doing in the meantime is I'm doing my taxes and reconciling. So I wouldn't have gotten up. Like I would have tried to like continue to sleep, but because I'm enjoying this company so much, I'm getting so much done.
Yay, thank you.
You know, yeah, next up laundry. No, because laundry means I have to like walk downstairs and it's chilly and all that. No, I've got plenty in front of me. You know, again, I told you, I'm like, I'm curious. We should absolutely, I'd love to see the script. I'd love to show my kid. I'd love, I think the conversation will be amazing.
So Philip Zimbardo wants this thing produced and has been so frustrated that we weren't able to get it done in time for the actual anniversary, which was actually in August of 2021. If we can get it done in the same year, I'm like, it still counts as the 50th anniversary. So, and
I mean, there's a lot that can happen. I think you could do just if you're looking for ideas, I think it can be done as a staged reading.
Exactly. We could do just about anything with it moving forward.
And okay, so just so you know, anything that I'm a part of has to have interpreters in it. So just so
which is perfect. I mean, if we could build it from, so one of the things that in looking at the musical talks about the storyline that happened in 1971, but the context that we want to present it in is a modern era context where they're reviewing it like a psychology class. So imagine that we're at Gaudet and we're doing a psychology class. Does Gaudet do psychology classes?
Gallaudet.
Oh my gosh, I'm mispronouncing it.
No, that's okay. No, I'm catching up because it is, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, so it's 6 now.
Right. So for these guys,
I think there's a lot of ways it certainly can be done. It's just, the typical questions like, is there a budget behind this, or are we looking to depend on, volunteers for it? That that kind of impacts things. Where is it going to be put out? How do we but it's doable.
Yeah. We have components, but a bucket of money that's sitting there waiting to be done, no. We haven't done the bucket of money, let's do this, but we have done we do have a 501c3 that we can use, which is for the SQUIDminders projects in general. And the ability, and our nonprofit status is through Media Arts Center in San Diego, which is a lovely organization that really focuses on arts from the community. And yeah, so it's sort of all sorts of possibilities of we're looking for people who think it's interesting and want to play. And then the adaptations, probably the biggest thing we want to do is make sure that it's something people can enjoy adapting into the contexts that make sense. So a huge part of it is, okay, so what are the lessons learned? So Stanford Prison Experiment makes this great storyline of a bad thing. It was a very bad thing that happened. And at the same time, what did it teach us about humanity? Well, it turns out humans in certain circumstances behave much worse than they would in normal circumstances. And if you dress them up in costumes and make them look like prison guards and tell them that they're responsible for keeping these people who are their peers from escaping from the basement of the Stanford psychology building, that the abuses become really severe, really fast. Normal, nonviolent people in the 70s and the hippie culture of the 70s became really sadistic. Anyway, it's something where there's a lot of different directions we can go in with it, but the storyline of understanding how situational variables affect our behavior, it's relevant to institutions of any place where people are being detained and cannot leave the walls that they're in. Many storylines go down that route. And then we can bring it back to SQUID. So in the Stanford Prison Experiment, and they don't do this much in the movie with it, but we have 4 different groups. If you think of like, there's the chorus for this group and the chorus for this group. We've got Zimbardo and the graduate students who are running the experiment. And we've got the prisoners and we've got the prison guards. And then we have these extras that are people in the community who are aware that this is going on. And each of them have these different perspectives on what's going on. The storyline, I'll just quickly do the storyline, is we're going to examine what life is like inside a prison. And because it is not ethically appropriate to go inside a real prison, we're going to set up this simulation. So 2 weeks long. There's so much out there on the internet about what the actual experiment was. We redid the Wikipedia article so that it was accurate. And what comes up in this is that no one stopped the abuses from going on sooner than 6 days in, 5 days in. All of these different people were watching things go wrong. And the prisoners had been, oh gosh, I'm starting to lose the train of thought because it's 3 o'clock in the morning. We'll come back to the big thing. Okay, the SQUID tie-in is when you notice that something's wrong, you should stop and ask questions. And all of the people behaving in this particular experiment, of which there are dozens, played along and allowed it to continue until this one noble soul shows up. And she's been spending enough time with Zimbardo that they've decided they like each other enough to move in together. She's also a psychology professor. She shows up to take a look around and she sees how bad things are, how the prisoners are being treated like subhumans. And she pulls Phil aside and she yells at him and says, if this is who you are, I don't want to be in this relationship with you. And that is the first time in this whole period where he gets what you're doing is wrong. None of the prisoners or prison guards or extras had actually sat there and said what you're doing is wrong, even though it was clearly getting worse and worse. So, so the big SQUID teaching thing is you have to notice that something's wrong and you have to challenge the status quo. Blah, blah, blah.
45 seconds. We're going to put, let's put the number 3 up.
Okay, Abby.
This is actually a W. Oh, Abby's got back in. All right, he's going to make the photo.
He's
30
gonna make
seconds
the
to photo.
photo, and we're doing number 3, right?
All right, we're hanging out here in hour number 3, everybody. You can help me count down when it gets there. We'll go 10, 9, 8, 7. All right, here we go. W's, what are the 3? Give me a 3. Everyone give me a 3. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Smile.
Bye.
Nailed it. Very good, everybody. Very good.
So just if you're gonna learn things, this is sign language 3 here in the United States.
Thank you.
This is a W.
That's a W. Good to know.
Or the number 6. This is 3.
So I understand that I use this for SQUID a lot. How do you say question in ASL? Oh, you're muted.
There's a lot of ways to pose questions in ASL. I suspect you're looking for the one that mark.
Like a question mark.
Yeah, looks like a question mark.
Cool.
Like you're just drawing the question, but that's not how questions are posed in ASL.
Okay.
Right. So that is a mark of something. So again, like a lot of this kind of stuff, I really would prefer a deaf linguist or deaf artist to be able to address. I'm happy to do kind of the cursory.
You're doing the cursory. Go with, you're the person that's in the room. Let's get some deaf people in the room so that we can do this. Do you have friends who are deaf who would like to join us?
I don't know. It's 6 o'clock in the morning.
We're here
and
for another.
there are no
21 hours.
interpreters present. You know what I mean? They don't have an interpreter. I don't know if they would hop on.
And one of the things I've been looking at with any of the interpreter stuff is across the, how do we do international? Is, do you know someone who can do the interpreting? Can you bring them with you? I know that in the land of interpreting for ASL, it's extremely sensitive about you pay for it. You pay for it, you pay for it. There's no reason to ask people to do it for free. And then there's the reality of, well, if there is no budget for it, does that mean that we leave people out?
Well, I think it's a combination of things, right? You know, an impromptu 24-hour birthday party perhaps is not going to be the moment where you get, you know, deaf linguists. They might come on, but you know what I mean? Like, but versus making a deliberate plan to have, because it's obviously very important to you, you know, and so, and that's, you know, I'm with you that, like, you know, we, you know, I think all of us are making it happen, right? This is
You're
one
in a
of
better
many
position
things.
to help us find the interpreters than I am.
I am, right? I mean, that's like one example of it.
I am absolutely willing to put out in exchange for interpretation.
Well, that's very kind of you.
I have so many ways I can say thank you.
I'm not sure how you're offering that, but there might be some people who'll take you up on that.
Yep. I can do custom videos.
I know. I'm sure we can figure something out.
Yeah, I'm extremely flexible as far as how I say thank you.
All you have to do is draw a question mark in the air.
No, that is not all you have to do. No. Well, you know, we are talking access, so things like, you know, what's the phone number for this? People can log into a Zoom room with, you know, the phone number, the meeting ID, the password, for example. Like just even doing that with all Zooms, making sure always the phone number is present, right? You know that, Dr. Mel.
I do, but I don't. It's something where I haven't been running the Zoom rooms. Having John here is like totally transformed my ability to Zoom.
Yeah.
Introvert who likes spending a lot of time with a handwritten notebook. And then I show up here and I try to act like I'm an extrovert. There was something I wanted. Oh yes, Wiki. So Wikipedia, which you may have heard of at some point. It's this thing that became a thing. We have been working for 20 years since Wikipedia launched on building different Wikipedias, different languages. What has not happened yet is good inclusivity of people with disabilities. And we were able to start Wiki Blind a few years ago. just in the last 2 weeks, we have started making progress on starting Wiki Deaf. And the concept is to make not just accessibility, but inclusivity. People with disabilities are consistently marginalized in the workplace. In the blind community, we know that in the United States, 70% unemployment for people who are blind and able to work. I mean, you can't find a job because people are worried you're going to fall down the stairs. And the idea of having the opportunity to participate in one of the most powerful human endeavors of all time, the future of human knowledge, but trying to volunteer within Wikipedia is a form of torture. Because to collaborate with strangers is hard in general, and to collaborate with strangers writing encyclopedia articles is that much more challenging. And so there's this thing where we're trying to create community where we can bring in people that have not been Wikipedia editors before, and then nurture and love them as they get into the free knowledge movement, which is so much bigger than Wikipedia. Wikipedia is the gorilla of, I think it's the top, Wikipedia is the 6th most frequently trafficked website in the world. It's in my mind, the most powerful nonprofit on the planet because it's the first answer to most of the questions we ask people. But we are running really low on volunteers because we've done a terrible job of inclusivity. And I come back to people with disabilities being marginalized from the workforce and this need to do something meaningful with our time, and the ability to create a space where if you can participate in a movement like Wikipedia or the free knowledge movement and connect with other people who have shared interests, we know that getting into the workforce involves networking. And so there's this whole connect the dots thing. And
absolutely. And I'm with you. And the thing is again, I'm just meeting you. Do you have a direct connection to Wikipedia as a organization?
I'm co-founder of Wiki Blind.
Okay.
Which is the international group trying to bring the blind community and inclusivity for the blind communities into Wikipedia. As part of that, we've got an even bigger group called WikiKind, and it is conceptually there, and the support for it hasn't kicked in yet, which is very complicated, and I won't go into it on the recorded line, but humans are involved. And trying to get things done in a collaborative, high-five.
I understand systems. I get it. No, and part of it is, and it's processing and, waking up and, coming onto here, not sure what to expect. So a lot of the stuff that you're bringing up, obviously, it sounds like a lot of fun. I love all the places where you overlap and do amazing things.
You got to hang.
But, the connection I have is a lot. I do have a lot of folks in the deaf community. Also, looking at things like partnership with Gallaudet or RIT, and perhaps, that it's not necessarily about me just putting out this particular moment, which I guess I could stream it. Certainly, I'm happy to. But making sure that you're connected with the right people so that they're it's not always a financial or fiduciary exchange, but it could be that you partner with Gallaudet and that becomes an internship, or you partner with, BU has research happening around with kids and, and education. And so I think that's where I would want to make sure. I think that's also as a Latina, first generation, when we talk about the idea of privilege, right? And what does that really mean? It's the convenience of it all, right? I have a big, amazing basket of tools that I've been honored to be able to collect. And even though I am a woman of color and all the things that put me in that marginalized community, I also need to make sure that I'm not doing things that are just convenient, but instead really making sure. And I think that's where you're coming from as well.
It's such a line to walk down, because best of intentions, you can still screw up all the way across.
Oh, right. But I'm not even talking about screw up, because it doesn't mean that I'm not a part of it, or that I'm not sharing my experience or my, the thoughts. I've done access, I've done a lot of things, but more so that, like Wiki Deaf should be founded by deaf people.
Yeah, and we
so,
did find Wiki Blind is founded by people who are blind. It's just that they were also very busy. And so Sighted Girl ends up being responsible for getting
but those are decisions, right? You guys collected, you had the voice and decisions were made to do X, Y, and Z. And that's the beautiful thing is that co-founder, I want to make sure that, and I've actually been talking to other people about other projects that have to do with access. I've been a coordinator for a lot of my life. I'm a stage manager fundamentally, right? I'm a theater person, arts and all that. And it is very easy for me to, I can do a lot of stuff. I have a lot of talents. I have a lot of resources. I have a lot of knowledge. I have very little fear when it comes to trying these things.
Yay.
And, and so that's my life lesson is also, it's actually very squiddy to, to say, I'm going to stop, I'm going to think, I'm going to consider all the things that are in place. So I'm actually the embodiment of squid right now to say, exactly. I'm
pulling that away.
That for me, the ink would be doing things on behalf of a community that is capable of doing it themselves. So that I love that there's a transference of this idea of inking. It's not only about, being out of line or bringing out aggression, but also I think it's a very powerful tool in our social justice racism conversation.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for saying that. One of the things I was going to ask you is what led to the deaf community and ASL? Community. See, and this, actually, let me come back to that. When I say deaf community, when I say blind community, it's something where a lot of the people I know who are blind are not in a blind community. They identify as blind, but they don't have friends that are blind too. And I don't know how to get the language of that right, but.
So, in the deaf, my learning in the deaf community is that it is a community.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting that you bring that up between deafness and blindness is that we also see that there's a linguistic component that does codify, right? And so I think it is interesting. I don't know how blind people refer to it because they're, it may or may not be a community, but they might have a community in that if they all went to school together, right? Because all it is about people together over time, right? Community.
And yet most of the blind kids these days are all mainstreamed.
Right.
There's very few
school. Well, I live here in Boston, so Perkins School for the Blind is right.
You've got Perkins. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Yeah. Perkins is Perkins. There's the one and only.
Exactly. And so, that's, so again, how our community seen, I can only do it from my point of view, which is that I'm keenly aware that this is a deaf community and there's a lot of really great things happening. And again, I'm squidding it up.
Thank you. So in your backstory, how did your life cross into?
So I think.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like to shout out to my friend Aditya Seni. He's put up our links on his YouTube channel with over 92,000 subscribers. So hopefully we'll see a lot of people come in too.
Is he going to join us?
No, they're in university at the moment. They're both in the same uni.
Very cool. Okay, so say it again. Who are we saying thank you to? We can all say thank you to him.
Aditya Seni.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, continue, please. Okay.
So, I mean, my parents are Colombian, so I'm first generation American. So I actually have been an interpreter, a cultural interpreter my whole life. I just didn't know it. In 8th grade, I met this awesome guy named John Paul, and not you. He was a deaf guy. Yep. And I just started signing, and I don't remember the interpreter. I don't remember that. I don't remember because you're just a kid. I was 14, and I was learning a whole bunch of signs. And then we went to different high schools because the magnet program took him somewhere else. And then I ran into him later and had nothing to say because it had been years since I'd used sign language. And it just really stuck with me. And so I was a theater major at Florida International University and a sorority sister and all those things, and a late bloomer, kind of figuring out my life. And And I kind of, I stopped going to school. I was bartending. I was figuring things out. And then sign language came back into my life. And so I decided to take a couple classes. I ended up working, and then I wanted to finish my degree. So I came up here and graduated from Northeastern in '97. And so, in terms of language, like I've always been in between. I've been in at least in between two cultures, and I'm now in between three for most of my life. I've been doing this since I was 23, so I'm coming on 30 years of being a sign language interpreter. I've been, and I've done a lot of different things. I've actually done a theater production that I created with two deafblind community members who became actresses, and I did just talking about their lives. This is years and years and years ago, and just talking about their lives, and created these monologues about from their perspective, called like a day in the life. Because I think that sometimes it's important to see people's differences, because you have to honor who they are, but also having stories coming from like how we're all the same. That was what was important to me.
Have you ever taken part in or been connected with a living library, human library?
I have not. I mean, I've heard of it, but I've never done it.
One of my favorite memories, activities that I've been able to help be part of is called the Human Library. Is humanlibrary.org has the model that we based our stuff off of. And it is the idea of checking humans out as books and being able to ask questions.
I absolutely love that.
That you wouldn't have in normal context. It's fantastic. And at the core of it is we have all of these labels that everybody is ascribed, or that we ascribe to ourselves. But what's underneath the label is a human. Over and over again, no matter what disabilities we have, no matter what other labels, we've survived this, we've done these things, we have these professions and so on. At the end of the day, we all have 168 hours a week. No matter what our abilities are, no matter what our past has been, we have 168 hours a week. We are still humans. We still get up and still go to bed. And that commonality and connection is just so beautiful. So in 1900s, my God, that was a while ago. 2017, for my 50th birthday, I did a living library with the American Foundation for the Blind as one of our sponsors, where we had people that were blind as living books, and a whole bunch of other people. It's just, that was one of the core focuses. And the way I would explain it to people is, if you saw somebody who was blind on the bus, it would be very awkward and weird for you to walk over and say, "Hi, what's it like to be you?" It's not really appropriate. But if you see someone who's blind sitting at a table with a great big "Ask Me Anything" sign, it gives you the opportunity to ask questions. What is it like to be you? And that conversation is so powerful for blowing through some of these misconceptions that we have, because unless you have a friend who can tell you, yeah, no, that's not the way we do this. I was so novice when I was getting more and more involved in the blind community. I'm like, so do I avoid words that talk about vision? How do I stay away from offense? Do I say, "I'll hear you later"? And, oh, that was a painful sound. "I'll hear you later." No. I had one experience where, oh gosh, I learned how to be a guide. What is it called? A human guide, like a guide dog. And
I'm sorry, I just, so like the guide is a human, so like a sighted guide.
A sighted guide. So I've got someone who's one of my close friends. He taught me how to be his sighted guide, and he taught me that walking him into a sign is not a good thing to do. So I've gone through some of the training on how not to walk people into things, and just so many treasured memories from being included in a community that I don't quite fit into, because while I am definitely visually impaired and can see a lot less without these, I'm still legally sighted and can still drive. For years, I taught driver's ed, and I have a car that has 2 brakes. So I have had a couple of my blind friends in the front seat practice driving. Carefully in parking lots. We did not break any laws per se. But yeah, it's one of the things a lot of my friends have said is of the different frustrations of being blind is not being able to drive. It's one of the biggest ones.
Well, it's autonomy and agency, you know, and it is interesting how those things are taken. So I work in the deaf-blind community as well. And so, you know, learning and one of my early lessons was, you know, again, about the convenience, right? So things that are convenient to us, that's a really great marker to say that there might be some privilege in place here. And my friend was deafblind, I was still learning about it. And so in my mind, because I didn't know, I didn't understand where her sight began and ended. And so I knew that if I was in front of her, she could see me, but where it began and end. So I had come around because again, I was still learning where those boundaries were. And she was signing and she punched me and split my lip. No stitches or anything. And it was totally my fault, like 100% my fault. And it was a couple things were funny about that. One was, okay, lesson learned. 2 was that she had forgotten about this story. And one day we were co-teaching, we were doing sighted guide training for deafblind folks. And we were talking about that. And she said, I don't remember who it was. And I was like, that was me. And so this moment of, because she couldn't necessarily see me. And we were still very early friends at the time. And it was just like this, like, because there's a lot of guilt, right? Because it is of the sight and the implication, but also having sign language as a part of it is also another piece to it, right? Like, yes, don't walk people into poles or, you know, leave them standing without knowing. And there's so many of these rules, but there's also no way for me, you know, to say anything unless I'm in proximity to a hand or, right? So, you know, it's a very interesting as you learn how to like mess around and play. So instead of putting my friend into a pole, I would walk into the pole slowly, right? As we're walking, I'd allow the pole to hit me and then she'd feel the tug. This has been a while. Like she'd feel the tug, like what's holding me back. And so her hands come and find that I'm standing with a pole in my way. And so there's just like, you know, you start to learn where those boundaries are and how to respect others. And absolutely, I love this human library thing. Who are you, by the way? I'm here because I met John and he's cool and he knows.
Yeah, no, synchrony. We cross paths for a reason. November 30th is my goal is to do a living library online. So Human Library has the trademark kind of thing going on it, and it's not alliterative. I love living library. That's what we've done ours because it's a lot more flexible on it's however we want to do it. And it works great. I think it'll work great as a virtual experience. John, with all of your capacities to do breakout rooms and so on, you have a library where you have a list of the books that are available to read, and then you check out a book and you go to a room and you have this question and this session. And so I think it'll work really well. We're shooting for doing one on November 30th.
That sounds so awesome.
And I would love to figure out how. I love the idea, especially of focusing on people with diagnoses. So I have this little tagline. I consider diagnoses to be ugly gifts because first they're ugly in that a diagnosis is stigmatizing. It says that you're broken. It says that you do not perform according to the spec for being a human being. You have been categorized as being broken in some manner. I consider it an ugly gift in that for a lot of us, having a diagnosis, the problems were present before the diagnosis. And to get a diagnosis and a label for it then gives us access to resources that we didn't have otherwise. So in my 30s, while I was working on my doctoral degree, I was focused on psychometrics, the nature of measuring psychological constructs and all of this other stuff. And I came across a list of the characteristics of ADD, attention deficit disorder. And I'm looking at this list and the lightning bolts are coming down from the sky going, oh my God, this explains all of the problems I've been having. I don't fit in. I don't know why I don't fit in. Apparently I talk too much. Apparently I'm overwhelming. Apparently this, and I'm like, and I can't finish things and all of these. And I'm like, oh my God, this is I thought that ADD was a little boy bouncing off the walls. I didn't know it was possible for me to. And my generation did not have ADD diagnoses coming out on a regular basis. So can I ask you, Joe, when did you graduate from high school?
So you and I are in the same age. I graduated in 88.
I'm a couple years ahead of you. I was 84.
Yep. When you said your birthday, I'm 51.
Ah,
so yeah, and you know what? I asked that same question. I want to know how old people are, not because I think anything about necessarily the generation that, like, I think and I don't think things about the generation. Like it's informative to say, like, when I was in junior high school, or it was called junior high at the time, I had a pager. So at 14, I already had a technological device. And through my entire life, like, computers came into, at 9th grade, it came into my junior high school. And then how I grew up is so remarkable, different than very likely you, because I think those 3 years would be high school. So when do you first see technology? That plays a lot into how people learn, how people relate.
It's definitely one of the things we're seeing. There's a beautiful TED Talk about how intelligence is jumping by a lot per generation, because the technology that we had for looking up information compared to the technology the 3-year-olds have now is, you don't have to be able to read. You can ask your device, tell me, go look this up online, and the device will look it up, play Baby Shark. Okay.
And as long as Siri understands what you're asking.
But this idea that if you and I had a question, John, you're in the same age group. If we had a question, we had to go to the library and try to track down the documents that would give us the answers to these questions. And there was so much less available. And with the advances of the internet being available almost everywhere, the ability to get answers to our questions so much quickly really has a neurological impact of, if you have a question and you have the answer, that's neurons connecting. If you have another question and you have another answer. So the neural density in younger people, I believe, is considered a lot faster growing, a lot, it gets dense quick. Our kids are smarter than we are.
And the thing is, as to add to that, is the discovery arc of question to answer. So it absolutely changes, through interpreting, there's a training and stuff that she brings in Vygotsky, right? So you're looking at that zone of proximal development not being object regulated and all that. And so when we were younger, I know, we are twinning here. Like I'm like, I can't even believe I'm on this call. Like, what?
Vygotsky, you're throwing down Vygotsky. You go, girl.
So, watching how certain generations handle what they don't know and how they don't, like, that was something I wanted to say before, that for me, a lot of stuff is also about fear.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And when we mislabel, when people fight that stuff, I think in part it could be values and belief and all that. But I think one of the things we don't look at is that people don't want to look like they're wrong. They don't want to make a mistake. And so our resistance to being wrong because of am I using that right? Didactic learning, where it's like you're taking out the red pen and doing all, like you can only do things prescriptively. You can only X equals what, X plus Y equals Z. And so I'm gonna bring this all around to then bring it to kids who are asking the question, getting the answer. Not only do you have the neuron stuff, which I would not be able to speak to, but the idea that they can find an answer is more of a truth than ever before, right? Like they can find information.
Yeah.
So if they want something, they can find information. It's more readily available.
This is where I have, so I've got a doctorate in education from Seattle University, and it has given me this arrogant sense that I can get on a very big soapbox and complain bitterly about the nature of formal education and how many ways it needs to be blown up and replaced with something that makes more sense. The idea that the adults know what the children should be studying is nonsense. We have the ability to give children self-directed education and say, here are the problems that our generation has left for you to solve. Let's start with this, the UN Sustainability Development Goals. Here's 17 problems that are really big problems. I would love to engage kids from the youngest
Oh,
possible.
that would be so fabulous.
And instead of saying, oh, wait, you're not an adult yet, you can't participate in these things
I mean, but,
until you're
the truth is that you can do that. And so you'll create a pot of people. So for me, my advocacy would be that please think of, I believe you're already doing this, but since we're reaching so many people, think of accessibility first. Money can't be we can't think in terms of money when the value of accessibility and and having disparate voices is so critical to whatever we're doing. In terms of things like Zoom, for example, as long as you give a phone number and the password, then what a deaf person can do is they can log on and they can have an interpreter on a separate screen. I mean, it does, again, like there's always something we're not seeing, like, well, that also assumes that they can have two screens, that they have another device, et cetera, et cetera. But this is a call. So the video service that exists, the relay service, the video phones, all of that exists to provide access via phone. So we have a mechanism. Like I saw that, and I love John for this, like the captions are already on. So
yes.
You don't have to worry about that. But I'm telling you right now, how many people do not even think to turn it on? The language that is used is around an inconvenience to something that has nothing to do with the fact that, like, if you said, well, who are you trying to reach here? And you go, well, I want it to be inclusive. And it's like, no, you don't really, because, right. It's like, I'm not saying.
Yeah, inclusivity is such a big goal and so hard to do when you're dealing with all of the different barriers. And yet, I mean, I wanted this to be inclusive of everybody I know. And I didn't even try to invite everybody I know. I had the lists and I'm like, but we only started planning this 3 weeks ago. So how many of the people can I reach? And is it suitable to post this to this list or not? And I don't know, maybe I shouldn't. But that idea of today, for this 24-hour period, we're opening it up. Anybody who knows that we're here is welcome to come. And, our behavior norms are, you have to be kind, you can't be trying to be destructive and disruptive. But other than that, we want to be inclusive of everybody and we want to solve every problem that's barriers. So the language barriers, how do we find someone who can bridge that gap? The accessibility barriers, how do we identify them and solve them? Because they're there, but they are all, I mean, the solutions are also already present. It's just about fusing them together so that the next time we do this. And the goal with launching all of this too, is this is the first 24 hours. The second 24 hours is what happens after the first 24. And we have officially launched. This is it. We are officially SQUIDminders, open office hours every week minimum. I'll be online and doing whatever I can to support global healing, SQUID, mental health. We're one of the things we're talking about is a global help desk. What if there was a global help desk where you could just reach out and say, I need help with anything? And you have people who have signed up to help. And have you seen Be My Eyes? You must know about Be My Eyes.
I have not seen that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, John, can you pull up, please, for a moment, can you pull up the BeMyEyes.com website? Let's give a shout out to these amazing humans, and I want to show you why. So there's a couple of different things out there for matching people. And Be My Eyes is a matching service to take people who are.
It's the audio program that you put the camera out and you describe things. Is that the one?
Right. So if you scroll on that one, John, can you see the list of numbers? I think scroll down just a little bit. How it works, yada, yada, keep going. Tell me how many people are there. volunteers. So take a look at those numbers. We have 5.2 million
Are
volunteers.
you part of this too?
I am tangentially part of it. This is one of the.
I love this. Yeah.
So imagine that you are one of 5.2 million volunteers, and there are only 348,000 people who are blind who might need you. We have this enormous human resources group of people who are willing to, who want to be called to help, who aren't getting the phone calls. I've been a Be My Eyes volunteer for years. The phone has rung for me on 4 occasions. I picked it up once and gotten to do the call. But it's this thing where we have 180 languages. The number of people that this group right here represents that can help solve problems. So part of what I see WikiBlind being able to do is take people from around the world who identify as blind, who also know more than one language. And we've got the ability to do a lot of translations and interpretation. And it's something where can we just put the pieces together? The Human Library or the Living Library extended set is this idea of, do you know the jigsaw technique? You know Vygotsky, so I'm like, oh, maybe you know this educational model.
I don't know jigsaw.
Jigsaw is this concept, I'm gonna not reckon. Okay, the jigsaw method for teaching is you have 2 phases. You have groups who are homogenous in some manner. We're gonna study the same thing together. Like, let's see. So let's say we're studying different languages, and one group is studying English, and one group is studying Spanish, and one group is studying ASL. And then you jigsaw the group, and you have one in the new group. So you have somebody who's learned a lot about ASL, another that's learned a lot about English, another that's learned a lot about Spanish, and they're talking to each other, representing these different perspectives. The story behind jigsaw technique is interesting, but I'm skipping that one and I'm trying to move toward, this is where the 3 a.m. thing kicks in. It's like, oh, where's my brain? Hold on just a second. The idea of being able to create groups that have a deliberate international component to them, where there's at least one member in the group who is from each of the continents, where there is at least one member in the group from each of the ability classifications, because we need at least one person to represent and be connected with that jigsaw of homogeneity.
Right.
So for you to be here, you are the ASL specialist in the room that gives us access to, and you're currently the person in the room that has the depth of background in Spanish and Latin culture and all of those other things. To be able to do SQUID in Latin America and the Spanish speaking countries is just one of those things where we've already gotten part of the way there. We have Professora Pulpo. Erzsie was on earlier. I think you saw her. She has been able to do, she lived in a number of different Spanish speaking countries. So she has Spanish fluency, but it was born, raised in the United States. We also have people who are born and raised in Spanish speaking countries. And we've been trying to put together, okay, well, what does that curriculum look like? And Pulpo works great in a lot of ways. So anyway, I'm like, I can definitely hear, I'm like in that manic 3 a.m. mode. Your turn. Here's the microphone. Riff. John, you've been listening to us yammer. Chime in.
The global helpline, you know, one of the TED videos that I've actually used in the past is that there's a teenage group and they put out a text line that was just trying to get to all their subscribers. And what they got back, though, was like these terrible things, right, that all these teenagers were going through. And so they end up turning it, they had the first 24-hour text line, that text helpline for teenagers. And it just came out of this thing that was kind of like a marketing campaign, but because of what they got back from it, it was astounding. If you'd like, I can actually find this. It's probably about 8 and 10 minutes, but probably one of the most extraordinary. The whole point around it is it's like, you know, text actually still has 100% read rate, even after probably being around majorly for 8-9 years. right? Think about your phone. What's
Yeah.
a text message you haven't read,
Yeah.
right? And it's, you know, luckily it's not completely spam yet. It's, you know, there's still some, but it's still very few. And so somehow or another that's worked. And, but the whole point about it, I think they're trying to get to is, for instance, teenagers are in a state of crisis. They are asking for help, and that text actually is a great format for them because they feel more anonymous and feel safer about sharing something that's challenging, and so they have found ways to give help to this text line. So
It's huge that 911 is now available on text. The ability to text is so much easier to do in a lot of contexts than it is to do voice, because of the you can be subtle while you're texting.
oh, I got it. It's 5 minutes actually. You want to see this?
Yeah, bring it.
This is one of the most inspiring things that I've seen. You know, it's a great use of technology, is why I think it's such an important piece. And so let's see if I can, got to get into full screen mode.
Joe, thank you so much for showing up here. You just, in that land of if nobody comes, it'll still be a great party. Thank you for being here.
It's how I live my life.